fact, it's a lot easier to do this stuff now because when we're in combat, you'll be able to actually click a token to target.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
Hi everyone
So,
on my channel.
Hello
Sorry
everyone
we're
on my
late.
channel.
We got a little bit kind of struggling. That was all.
Learning
Getting
a
things set up.
program.
We had a lot. Well, I also had an audio issue, so it was, which is not unheard of. So yes, hello and welcome everyone back to D&D 5e homebrew with us, chuckle fuckery. We've finally moved over to the new program, so bear with us if you're familiar with Fantasy Grounds and you're not sure, and you know exactly what we need to do. Please help us out, but in a nice way. Don't backseat game. Let us learn for ourselves. But we're looking forward to it, and we're looking forward to getting back into everything.
Yes, we are.
Oh boy.
I also now have a separate tab for when we go into battles. It's cool. It opens up into.
Nice. So, one thing I should do, just so that we have something to actually look at.
Oh, you're gonna put the map up. I think I already have it, don't I?
No, you don't.
Did you remove the map from me then last time?
Okay.
The map
Oh, this is going to be fun.
So, for anyone who hasn't touched the map before,
Yeah.
there's a black arrow and a square at the top right.
Yeah.
That allows it to like lock to the background, and then if you click it again, it goes even bigger.
And you can click it. You can click the same. Those arrows are how you do the different modes. There's one where it's a free floating forward, one in the background in the map area, and another one where it goes full screen. So there you go.
Oh, okay.
So
Ooh,
you've
this
got that.
flashy thing down the bottom.
And you can move it by using the middle mouse button.
Yeah, so you click in the middle mouse button to drag, and you can zoom in with the scrolls.
Yes, there you go.
It scrolls to the pointer, so you can zoom out and then zoom in, and it fucks with my face.
Okay. So you guys have. I'll do the thing since we haven't actually been playing this for a couple of weeks. In a while. So the last time.
Before we start, do you have any, just a little bit of light that you can put on your face? You're very in shadow.
Yes, it's like you're a dungeon master who's under a cowl.
It's a very overcast day.
Ah, okay.
That's his excuse, and he's sticking to it.
Darker than the rest of us.
That's the best light I have.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this looks fancy.
Okay.
According to my stream, this looks very fancy, very upmarket.
Very sexy.
The program did cost $120 on my end, so that's plus the modules that I've installed.
So probably closer to 200.
Yeah.
More than that. The
Kind
modules
of
themselves at full price were almost $150.
Kind of sounds like DCS World.
Or Europa Universalis with all the DLC.
Yeah. Though I have to thank the fan who bought me the Ultimate Edition almost, I think, a year ago, and this is the first time I'm using it. Yeah, no, it's been a long. It's been since I started. When I started doing YouTube is when I got it.
It was what? It was like 3-4 months into our original D&D campaign that you DM'd. So it was pretty all of. What?
Not on this.
This was
no.
I'm saying you got bought.
It was before we did D&D. It was before we did D&D really a lot. But either way, last time you guys came back to Fall Harbor and turned in your quest. You had saved the vast majority of the miners and individuals at the Deep Helm mine from their seeming mind control, being forced to work on some sort of excavation project by some dark folk who were trying to excavate a ziggurat underneath the ground that you're not exactly sure why or for what purpose it existed, though you did recover a small piece of paper or a small piece of parchment that seemingly had the excavation plans as well as a name. Zigal, which was the Z, so ZU, etc., etc. But other than that, you have no idea since you have no knowledge of Undercommon. But you returned and received your rewards, some gold pieces for everybody, essentially a free room at the Wolves Howl Inn, which is the upscale one inside of Fall Harbor. And you prepared to leave. You were preparing to leave for Gorgon by getting all of your party some mounts in the form of horses with tack and saddles, as well as for the halfling of the party, a mastiff. I haven't gotten that worked out, by the way, guys. So just like have a little piece of paper or something with your that you have a mount. Just make sure you note that you have a mount. I'm going to be working. Like I said, this week has been incredibly hectic for me. I've had I'm hosting a scenario for my tabletop game night this week that it was supposed to be next week, but it got moved up a week, so I've had to like spend the last 3 days like just getting everything done, and I haven't worked on this at all. So I was. Next time we go in here, you guys should have NPCs, or you should have NPCs for your mounts that will be available. So, but you all have mounts now and a mastiff for your halfling. But before you guys left, you were informed that there was going to be a festival the next day, seemingly called the Festival of Fifths, in which every other month this town puts on a little bit of a kind of like a fair for the locals and the kids, and you decided you were going to participate a little bit just to enjoy yourselves, and you had a fairly nice time. Some of you won some prizes in terms nothing very valuable, but definitely worth some downtime for you guys to enjoy, as well as a little bit of light shopping in the terms of Isaac was trying to sell off some of the magic items that had been acquired during your travels to the only individual who actually buys magic items in the town, and potentially buying a scroll that was inside of one of the bazaars. The Blade Ward scroll by Aaron's Oddities. She had a little thing set up. And she quoted you 95 gold pieces and 100 gold pieces for your magic items during that time, just so you know, Isaac.
Yeah, I thought we'd sorted that out.
Yeah, you didn't. No money changed hands.
Yeah, I know. I said I wasn't going to sell them because that was way too low a price.
Well, yeah. But there was a Blade Ward scroll there as well.
Yeah, I've spent all my money, so.
Yeah, so that's a thing. But yeah, you guys turned in for the night to begin the next day. You know that the festival is going to be going on for one more day, though you do, from what you know, it's going to be essentially the same thing as the last time. So yeah, you wake up inside of the Wolves Howl, kind of fresh early in the morning. You can already hear kind of people outside in the main square down the road enjoying themselves. It seemed people got up a bit early today, and you can hear the music. But what would you like to do?
I believe I have a job I have to go to, if I remember correctly.
You only worked for the day. She paid you for the day.
Oh, it was just one day? Okay.
It was just one day. There was no long-term contract there.
Suppose we should get moving.
So, as a party, we've been given sort of hints to head up to one of the larger holds. Do we want to head to Vildur, or do we want to go to Gorgon?
Well, I believe
Gorgon. There's an elf there.
Yeah, I believe.
You wanted to go for
he
Gorgon.
wanted to go Gorgon, and when we were suggesting going to Wilhelm instead, to
Oh, to counteract that. That's right. That's where the decision was. Okay,
it's whether or not we wanted Arwen to have a love life.
Let's have a nice hearty breakfast at the inn, and then we'll get on the way, because we won't be able to get to Gorgon in one day. We'll probably get to Fleet Hall. If not, we'll have to camp halfway through.
It'll be the majority of a day to get to. There's a road inn that you've all stayed in before, midway up this peninsula.
Mm-hmm.
I can't ping anymore, can I?
No, you can't ping.
I can draw an arrow.
I can put down some drawing.
Even though we all have mounts now?
That is true. You wouldn't be able to get all the way there. You'd be able to get midway through this forest here, like this little forest here. That's fucking a horrible drawing.
Yes, that was, but we get the point.
We
can
get it.
get-
Yeah,
You
okay.
get there, whereas normally you'd, because with a horse you move faster and you can carry more, but a horse you can't go at full. I mean, you have to like, you have to get off.
You
at
can't
some
flat
point.
out a horse.
You
in
have
the
to
back.
Yeah,
walk
yeah,
a
I
horse
got
for a while.
Yeah.
To get back on it. You have to get it rest. So like normally you'd get somewhere right around like here on your normal, but you basically you double your distance on a horse usually. It's give or take. So if you wanted to, you could get midway through the forest, but you don't know what's in there or if there's anywhere to stay. You'd have to camp.
So we're best off
That's fine.
getting to the inn and stopping for the night and moving on from there.
Well, we've got enough supplies and
Oh,
skills.
yeah.
We could probably camp.
It's up to you guys what you want to do.
And we
That-
could
that is what
take
you know.
turns keeping watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Consider the fact I only
Um,
need
Oh,
to nap for like 4 hours. I think we should be fine.
Yeah, it's more rest for the horses than
Yeah,
than
at that
anything for
point.
you.
And the dog.
Oh, and the good boy. And
His
the
name
battle good
is-
boy.
Barry.
Barry.
His name's
Barry.
Barry.
You had a choice between you had a choice between Barry and Duke. And,
All right. So next week we'll have the NPCs for our animals. Yeah, and we'll be able to name them and stuff.
They'll already. Well, yeah, Barry will already have a name. The horses will. I'll ask you guys during the week what you want your horses to be named.
Okay,
Do you
people
not
on
know
my
my horse
stream,
name?
I need a name for my horse, and if you say Roach, you're dead. There is
Yeah.
only one Roach. There's only one Roach, and he's in The Witcher.
Or you're
Yeah,
not
no,
DMing.
He's in the voice chat.
Yeah,
Oh no, we've decided over here he's actually called DM Sidious.
Oh,
To us, he's the commissioner.
no, that's not a thing.
Yes.
Yo,
So,
Commish.
what are you guys- So, yeah, you all get a hearty breakfast. I'm gonna say hearty breakfast, decent price. A silver piece per person, just silver piece per. And you can that's in your inventory. You can bring that down. Just gotta. There's like a little section for currency. I think it's at the bottom.
Does anyone have a silver piece I can borrow? Or can they split a gold piece?
I'll lend you a silver piece.
I just accidentally put my silver pieces in my inventory instead of editing it.
Oh, I guess
Why
a
won't it allow
bartender
me
could
to edit?
probably give me a gold, give me change.
No, that's alright. I'll pay for your breakfast, mate.
Hold on a second.
Because I'm nice like that.
You want to get rid of the silver pieces section there?
Yeah, that
your
and
inventory?
no, and also change my treasure down because I can't seem to click it without it appearing in my inventory.
Oh well, maybe you do have to just click it in your inventory then.
No.
Nope.
No.
No, I've not had that problem.
Okay. Were you at 9 already? Mitch?
Yeah, I need to take it down to 8.
Okay. You should just be able to click it and then press a button.
Oh right, it's like a select type.
Yeah.
Right,
You
I was
just
trying to
press
get
it,
like
then
a
you press the
cursor
number.
up and then
Yeah, I did
yeah.
this first, and then I thought, what happens if I just press a number?
There's no cursor. It's just there. It's just
Right, okay.
So that's how you go.
with it. With
Okay. But yeah, you all pay for it, and you get a fairly nice meal. Some boiled eggs and dried leek with a tankard of a good dark beer. It's not particularly tasty, but it is filling and it does wake you
We'll
up.
go the
a
beer,
good amount.
water for me.
Also, can I get some meat for my dog?
For a dog, yeah, you could pay like 2 copper pieces for a good cut of meat. For like
Done.
Yeah. Just like kind of chop it off the ends of what they're gonna have later on tonight for the end. He enjoys it. But yeah, so you guys all have a nice meal together, kind of in a corner in this on the table, or at a table by yourselves. But after that, you all get your horses together. You've all paid for the very nice stable for the horses. So when you when you go out and pick up your horses, they are well cared for. They've been brushed down, like all of their tack and saddle, like all their stuff's like on the like a little, like you know how like the thing right next to the door for the stable, like they've got it all laid out perfect. So it doesn't take you long to get ready. Uh, you guys are gonna really like that translation shit.
Yep.
Yep.
What? Okay, I'm guessing that's some sort of. Did you just speak orc?
Yes.
Because it's using the dwarven script, but I can't understand it, so I'm guessing it's orc. Logic, everybody. That's
You
now a
don't,
thing.
you don't know
because
you don't know dwarf, do you?
I know.
Orcish is supposed to
should
be
know.
similar to Dwarvish, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it derives from the same thing. No, you've misspelled dwarvish on your thing. That's what it was.
Oh, did I
Dwar-
misspell dwarvish on my character sheet?
Okay.
On Roll20. That's quite possible. I can't spell.
There
Dwarvish.
we go. There we go. Now it's good. Dwarvish with the V is instead of dwarfish.
V for Victor.
Dwarfish.
It's dwarfish.
Yeah.
A dwarf.
All right.
I'm gonna go
Uh,
fishing for some dwarfish.
But you all get everything together, and you are ready to go. Is there anything you would like to do in town before you begin your journey northward on the North Road?
Anyone in their adventures in town looking for stores? Did anyone come across a like a store that sells instruments?
We're not getting you bagpipes.
No. It's okay.
There was a general store that you guys have gone to a couple of times. It's nothing fancy. It's like back in the day there would be people that knew how to use a fiddle or knew how to use like a flute or something like that for kind of music that they would make at like a barn dance or things like
Right.
that.
Okay.
There's nothing very fancy. Like, you're not gonna find a harp, or you're not gonna find like something that
Got
requires
it.
a lot of training to use.
Right,
That's,
okay.
That's something you'd find a specialist store in a big city. And
Right,
although
okay.
Fall Harbor is bigger than most, it's not that big. It's more of like it's a mid-sized town.
Right.
'Cause
All right.
I think Fall Harbor is a population of, let's see here in my notes, 8,000. 8,000 total, and that includes some of the adjacent farms. So it's big, but it's not that big.
All right.
Before we go
And
any further, just to my chat, the chat on the screen here, whenever someone talks in a particular language, only the people who have the skill of understanding that language will be able to read it. Everyone else just gets whatever it's in. That's why
For
you
example,
understand.
because I know none of you can understand this.
Though I can understand everything because I'm the
DM
so
can understand
I-
everything because he has full control and is, DM Sidious or Commissioner or
I
whatever you want
have
to call him.
one question for you, Roach.
Yes.
I can speak Elven, but I can't type in Elven.
Did you misspell it as well?
Probably.
It might.
I spelled it 11 to be
you have
honest.
Oh,
Yeah,
it might be
you
me
have
who
the
misspelled it because
language-
it uses very specific spellings for this. I'm just gonna check. Elven. Yeah. Okay. So instead of Elven, it's Elvish inside of this game. So
Oh, okay.
so yeah, I had to do this very blind because it's not a drag and drop. It's something you have to do. Okay. So now you should be able to type in Elvish.
All right, cool. We're
Yeah,
good.
there you go.
Because
if
no
anybody
one's
else has
going to
that-
understand what I just said, except Roach.
Have we decided where we're going?
Oh, that's interesting. So if I ever need to send a message to Roach now, I'll just quickly put it in Celestial.
You should be able to whisper to me as well. There should be a
And-
whispering.
And Roach or DM, this is a question for you. Do I know of a Barts College in the Dwarven Freehold?
In the Dwarven Freeholds, yes. Oh, that's okay. That's a. I'll have to get rid of that draw. Second. Okay. Yes, you do. In the Dwarven freeholds, the College of Shit. College of Shit.
Ah, yes, the College
It
of
sounds.
Shit.
To be
Oh,
fair,
that
could-
place is so awesome.
I graduated from there.
You would actually give me a.
Just sounds like any UK community college, if I'm honest.
College of Shit.
Wow.
Okay, hold on. I just gotta double check this. What it's actually called. If I can find it here.
I was lucky I went to Northwest Kent
I don't know
College.
why I've already committed to this on the book.
Oh,
But
I know where
just
that is.
looked it up in the program.
Mm.
College of College of Valor, or at least an offshoot of the College of Valor, is in Norn Durin in the North Coast. It's way at the top. Way at the top of the book.
All right, got it.
Yeah, Norn Durin. That's you know it's there if you've never been, but it is there. It's one of the larger ones. But that's an oddity here. Most of the Bardic colleges in the world are actually in the First Kingdom, the Northern First Kingdoms. So like the Cardinal Empire, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Where I'm from.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. It's like that's a big culture place, and these things have been there for thousands of years. So
Yeah, I went to one up in that area.
yeah.
All right.
Specifically, you went to one that was in because I can actually tell you that. You went to.
I'd have to get on Roll20 or try and find it in my.
It should be on here, shouldn't it?
I'm fairly certain you were in the Aglor Coast. You went
Yes,
to one of the Aglor
that's right.
Coast. Yeah. Actually, in the capital city of the Aglor Coast is where you were for a while.
Yeah. My horse is called Lazarus, by the way.
My horse
Thanks for
has
letting us
been
know.
named by my chat as Ruin.
Ruin.
You
As
know,
in
I have
ruin
no
it?
idea what my horse's name was.
Do you have names for horses there? Because
Do we? It's just horse. What do you mean we name horses? It's just horse.
It's just horse. He's horse.
Hmm.
If get lame leg, he food.
Yes, at
All right,
least man gets it, doesn't he?
So we're all good. We're good to start heading
Yeah,
out.
let's start our
All
travel.
good. Nothing else you want to do in town?
Let's mount up.
I suggest we go to Vildor or Vagdor Hold.
So where you want to go?
They're both
Vildor
west.
or
East
Valdor
Coast.
Holt? You want to go? You want to go to the mountainside?
Well, there's more places for us to visit along the way.
True.
More adventures to
But-
be had.
Also, didn't we have this? Because the note we had is in Undercommon, and wasn't there hinted that there might be someone who'd be able to translate it at? Oh, there's a cup of tea appearing behind.
Yes,
me.
there is a cup of tea appearing behind you. I was about to go.
I didn't even
Behind
look.
you! Behind you!
Didn't even need to look.
Yeah, I think it was. I think either Gorgon or the builder had one.
Yeah, from what you remember, because it has been a while, so I'll give you guys a little bit of help, more so this time around. From what you remember, what you were told is that Undercommon's not a very common thing to know around here, so you'd have a higher chance of finding somebody who would understand, or at least have a knowledge of how to read this, in one of the larger holds. Like a larger town would know. That's where like some libraries would be, or people that are more educated, or the larger temple. And specifically as well, for you, Isaac, you know that in Gorgon there is a temple of Palor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why I wanted to go to Gorgon.
That's
And
why I
there's a
wanted to go.
school. There's a school in Gorgon too.
The School of Magic.
There's a school of
Alright,
magic,
well, that
not,
answers that
not
then.
in Gorgon. It's near Gorgon. It's a little tower to the south of Gorgon that you guys have seen.
Okay.
That you can see at the map. That's where you were. That's where you've been told. There's a little school of magic.
Right. Okay.
We can always go to Gorgon if we don't find much there. We can always go to one of the others.
Gorgon is a coastal hold as well. You know that. It has a very large harbor. So, if you guys wanted to risk a boat again.
No, it's fine. We'll walk. After the last boat trip we all took together, there was like a massive eel and a hole in the side of the ship, and we had to mutiny, and it was great.
And a small arrest. It's fine.
You were the mutineers. You weren't even a part of the crew. You forced the crew into mutiny.
That's happened twice to us.
I'm seeing a pattern.
Oh yeah, we did
started
capture
the
a ship in
revolution.
the last campaign.
Yeah, we did.
It's true.
Small theme
So-
appearing.
Yeah, a little bit. So you guys begin your trip northward. If none of you have said that you needed to do anything, so you begin moving north. It is a normal day in terms of temperature. As of hold on a second. On the 34th of still noon. And it's around the mid 60s. Mid 60s. There's a light wind, but other than that, fairly nice day. It's a good traveling day. So you begin going out, and you're still getting used to riding a mastiff a little bit. R1, you haven't done it. You haven't done it before. It's kind of a new thing to you, but you find that the dog's been trained well. It's mostly doing the work at this point, and you're just getting used to it. You can kind of figure out how to get him to go where you want to go, but you roll an animal handling check. So if you go to your skills in your character sheet, you can click the die. And the box with the die is what you'd click to roll a check.
Got it. 12. Plus
Okay.
1 is 13.
Yeah, you figured out how to get him to turn and to make him speed up and slow down. Is about what you've gotten out of there. You're not sure in a combat situation if you could handle, but he seems to be well trained, and he's going at a fairly good pace. He's keeping up with the horses, and he's got a good stamina. Is what's going on. You're actually somewhat surprised, but yeah.
All right.
You guys keep going, and it's about a few hours after you set out from Fall Harbor before you start getting into territory you're familiar with. I guess the whole journey is familiar with. But you're coming up on the inn on the road. It's a little unnamed like road inn. Are you guys gonna? It's still about noonish when you set out from there. Are you guys gonna be stopping for anything, or are you just gonna keep moving on?
No,
I
think
say
we
we
said,
carry on.
yeah, we just said we were going to carry on camp in the woods.
So should we set up a marching formation?
Yeah.
Huh?
So what are you? Yeah, you guys can do. I think you guys can do that by yourselves, and you just drag and drop your tokens onto the map, and that.
How do we do that again? Oh, I.
Yeah. Can you guys do that, or do I need to do it for you?
I think you have to do it, bud, because it's not letting me do it.
Not letting you put anything on the marching formation?
No.
Well, I can draw and erase things, but that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who wants to be first in this marching formation?
I think it makes sense for Ustinia, the what's it called? The
Barbarian.
skilled horseman. Yeah, the skilled horseman, and to be in the lead.
I'll take the rear because I've got the bow and can see from far behind.
All right, and then
I'll be second.
Well, me and Arwen can share center, do like a little diamond.
Yeah.
kind of like that.
Oh, once we're on there, we can move.
Once we're on there, we can move it. So
Yeah.
I think more that.
Okay. So yeah,
So where are you seeing this?
if you go to
the
if you go in the
eye
top
with the
right hand
three
corner
people.
of the screen, there's a little eye with 3 silhouettes as a button.
Okay.
You
There we
click
go.
that, and then you go to order. Then you go to the order
Yeah.
tab, and that has a marching and formation thing.
There we go. Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah, I can even drag and drop this onto maps, so it's exact if I needed to.
Ooh.
Sacrificial horseman.
But you got okay. So I'll assume that's your marching formation. So you guys move on past the inn, which is, by the way, far less filled up than it was previously. It seems after you dealt with that goblin fortress, air quotes, that you destroyed, it's opened up the roads quite a bit, and the people are willing to move from what they were previously doing. Camera keeps migrating slightly. Okay, there we go. So yeah, you're not seeing it filled up as you pass by. Most of the carts and the wagons have moved on. The stables, as small as they were filled before. Now it looks like they're almost empty. So people have moved on from here. You're not exactly sure where they were going, but they were moving on the north road at least. But you continue on, and you enter the forest that you had previously moved into. When you came up here to deal with the goblins. And you stay on the main road. It's a fairly easy journey. The road's well kept. It seems to be managed by the locals for the most part, or just well traveled. You hear the birds off in the distance, and just generally a nice day. As you get deeper and deeper into it, you do come across a little fork in the road. Where it seems one goes a little bit off to the west and one goes mostly north. From what you remember I think one of you has a map, don't you?
I bought a map.
Is it a map of the world or a map of the?
I bought a map of the. I bought a map of the world and a map of the freeholds. I bought two.
Okay. So from what
Spent
you
quite a
know,
lot of
there's
money
like a
on
little.
maps.
Yeah, there's a little fishing village. That goes off. That's on this western offshoot road. But the main road that you want to stay on is north. So because you have that map, if you want to keep going north and stay on the road, you can do so. And yeah, you keep going. At this point, it's starting to get a little late. We're talking the sun's fairly low. You're kind of deep in the forest, so it may be getting a little darker earlier for you, but it's definitely starting to get near the end of the day. You could keep going, but by the time you could keep going until dark, but then you're going to be setting up the camp in dark.
Yeah, no, we want to set up camp.
We want to
before.
set up before. Yeah, we want to. So late evening, we want to start settling down, finding firewood. Maybe anyone who's good at survival go do a little bit of hunting, so we don't have to break into our rations too much.
Sing some songs.
Well, for that, I actually have an amazing ability.
Yes. Yes. You do.
Where is it?
It would be in your.
There it is.
Yeah.
Have a look at that.
If you click the little red dragon that pops up there, you actually get the rule you can pop out the rule. And it's...
I will forage for some food for us. Yes.
Go for
Got
it.
survival.
All right, so you guys stop near where you thought you'd be, or at least where you think you are, on the map. And there's like a little clearing off to the side of this pathway that you've set down and put up your camp. You've got a couple stones to make a little fire pit, and you've got some firewood down. You've got the fire going, and you've got your bedrolls laid out. I don't think any of you have tents. Do you? I don't think so. Because I don't remember seeing any in your.
I don't think so.
inventory,
I think
yeah.
I've got blankets and bedroll.
It's open. You know, you're under some trees to give you a little bit of cover.
I got bedroll.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You've got bedrolls now, but you don't have anything above you.
No.
But yeah, most of you have bedrolls. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a requirement. But you have bedrolls down and around a fire underneath a tree, so you've got some top cover, and you got your horses tied up. It's about an hour after you sat down, and Ustenia comes back with. Nice. You come back with 2 rabbits that you've been able to kill. They're not the biggest. It's not necessarily the season for hunting around here for these rabbits, but it's just after winter, or. No, it's still noon, so that's actually... still noon is...
So we're late summer, aren't we?
Autumn's coming in. So it's just before they start fattening up for the winter, so they're not as big as you would expect to, or you would like them to. But you got 2 rabbits. That's enough for you to eat, as well as you were able to find a little freshwater creek nearby. So you've got some water to replace your water skins that you've drank today. Essentially, you've got enough that you didn't have to dip into any of your rations or water for the day. Is what you were able to find.
Yay.
They found lunch.
You mean dinner? Whatever.
You guys have sat down, and it's a nice day of traveling. You think with the pace that you've been going, you should be able to get to Sleet Hall fairly easily tomorrow. It shouldn't take all day, but it'll be close enough that by the time you get to Sleet Hall, it'd be worth you'd have maybe a couple hours of daylight left. It'd probably just be better to stay at the inn there than anything, but up to you guys. That is from reading the map, that is what you're getting. But you sit down, so who's on first watch?
Me, because I only need about 4 hours kip.
So shouldn't you go?
Second, after 4 hours?
Well, it means he can do 2 of the 4 watches.
Yeah. Actually, I can do 3 of the 4 watches.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah,
my
so what
token
I'm-
changed.
Saying
no.
is, shouldn't he
Hold on.
sleep the first one,
Oh, and then do the remaining 2.
and then he can do the last 3?
So,
Mhm.
so there's
So the
4
the
watches,
first
so
person
give me a
is
number.
awake.
Okay, so I'm going to go and meditate for 4 hours.
Okay, so who's on first then?
I'll do first watch.
How many
Okay.
watch cycles are there going to be, Roach?
There's gonna be 4, because you can do 4 watches where somebody will be
Mhm.
up and the 3 others sleeping, and you can get a full night's sleep by cycling.
Mhm.
So there'll be 4.
I guess I'll take the last watch.
Okay, and then that leaves Isaac with the 3rd watch.
Well,
So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Rivallon
How many
can do
hours is it?
1.
4 watches. It's about 8 hours, so it'd be about 2 hours apiece.
In
If
which
we're doing
case,
8
I'll be
hours.
doing. I need
You
to
can do
do
2
my sleep
watches.
thing. I can do 2 watches, and everyone else can just split. Well, I vote the other 2.
So it just means that on one, Rivallon can assist on
Yeah.
watching.
So
I'll
I'll
have 2
just, I'll
people
just say
watching.
I'll say Rivallon and Isaac are on the same watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, makes sense.
Yeah, I'll just do that so that way it's like okay. So Stenya, I want you to make a perception check.
Where is it? Perception.
We'll get used to the system sooner or later.
Ooh. Oh, that's terrible.
All right.
Nothing wrong here.
You're at ease for the most part. You're out in the wilderness like you're used to, though it is a bit different. Where you're from, when you're out sleeping amongst the stars, you're actually under some stars. There's not as many trees. It's very much of a plains is what you're used to. So it's a little bit off-putting. You think nothing is happening. You think nothing happens. You're just pretty much a normal early night. It's a bit louder though than you're used to. Okay. But you get through it, and you wake up the next watch. Rivallon and Isaac, I'm gonna need who's taking the role and who's assisting, or are you both taking individual perception checks?
We're both taking individual perception checks, but I'm still asleep.
Well, it goes.
So
it
this
goes
is the
this
second
way.
watch.
This is
There's
the second
4
watch.
watches.
Well, I'm making it into 3 watches because the way that the sleeping schedules work with you. So I'm saying that you can either each take a roll, or one of you can take advantage on a roll.
You take advantage.
Okay. How do I do that?
And the way you do this is there's underneath the chat box. There's
Yeah.
like a thing that says advantage, disadvantage, +2 to -2, +5, -5.
Yeah.
Press the advantage button.
Yeah.
So that
Then
it's
roll my
clicked in,
perception.
and then roll your perception, and you should roll advantage.
Wow.
So, yeah. and then you unclick that so that it no longer
Yeah,
is on there.
it came off automatically.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So yeah, you wake up. You're working with Isaac for both your watches, and it goes by fine. Just a normal night. It's a little colder than maybe you would like it to be. You stoke the fire a bit, and then just kind of pay attention to the fire more so than anything else. But you get through your watch, and then R1, you're the last watch.
That wasn't me.
I said it wasn't
20.
you. I said it was
I
R1.
thought. Oh, I
Got a
thought.
crit.
Okay.
You already took advantage because Isaac was helping you through the first part of his watch. Then it was yours.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so you already rolled.
23.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing happened. This seems to be a pretty dead force. Well, not dead force, but just like in terms of other people, you're not seeing much. Like it's just a lot of, you maybe see an owl or two during the night. It's fairly nice actually. Maybe gives you some inspiration for music. One of the moons is most of the way out, so it's a little bit brighter than some other nights. So yeah, you're fairly confident nothing's coming up on you. And then you start seeing the sun come up. It seems you've gone through the night without any incident. So you all wake up in the morning. It's kind of like the thing when you wake up in the morning and all that when you sleep out in the stars, and you all feel just that little bit of dampness on the side that wasn't on the ground, like just from that little bit of early morning dew that's kind of settled on you as well. But other than that, fairly nice night's sleep. Fires, like the embers of the fire are still hot, and it doesn't take much to get them going again for your morning meal. If you guys would like to just kind of dip into your rations for the morning, or if one of you wants to go out and spend an hour foraging for something in the morning, it would mean you'd cut your travel time by an hour.
I think it's worth cutting it by an hour.
Yeah, it won't take us the whole day to get to the next town, right?
No, you'd have a couple hours spare to get when you sleep.
So if we just take an hour for someone to go find us some breakfast, and then we go to Sleet Hall for tonight, that saves more rations for the longer strait where there's nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go forage.
Yeah, because as far as you can see on your map, there is no settlements between Sleet Hall and Gorgon. It is a fairly long trip.
With no forest as well, which means less chances of wildlife.
Yeah, it's right on the coast. It's the coast road. So yeah, you Ustenio, you head out in the morning and roll another survival check for me.
I have Wanderer.
Yeah, no, I know that. This is for Flipper. Give me a survival.
Alright. Where is it? Survival.
I know you'll get something. It's just oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. There was a couple of things you could have gotten, but that was the worst one. Essentially, you spend most of that hour. You don't find anything big. There's no big game around here. You think you might have seen some tracks of a deer, but it's been an hour or so since it's been here, so you think it's long gone. So you spend the majority of the hour foraging, and you come back with a couple of like small squirrels and rabbits. You even get almost like a raccoon, but it's almost like a raccoon.
Fantasy raccoon.
It's a fantasy raccoon.
So it's got some trash hanging out its mouth.
it's a trash can. Actually, yeah, raccoon's fine. I was gonna say because technically this is like the Europe of this world, and raccoons are not native to Europe; they're native to America, aren't they? I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got a badger.
It's got a badger.
Yeah, essentially, you have a small creature and a couple of other. You have a small forest creature and a couple like squirrels. And,
Hang on, with D&D, you cannot say small forest creature because it sounds like you've just got like a thorn or something, or it looks like he's murdered Mr. Tumnus.
It's a fake fairy that he's put an arrow through. It's like, No, but you've got a lot of small game. Essentially, the majority of your hours just spent getting a whole bunch of small game. You refill the water skins from what you used during the night. Just kind of it didn't need much. But you come back and you cook that up. It's not necessarily the most tasteful, and it doesn't go very far. But you have enough. You have sustained yourselves for the day, or for the morning, for the first part of the day, with what you got in that hour. Okay.
Yeah, enjoyed breakfast.
And if you'd like, you also can keep the skins. You don't have any way of preserving them, but you have, if you want, you can keep some of the skins of the like the squirrels and rabbits that you've been getting. But that'd be up to you, Estenia, because you'd be dressing those.
Nah. I'll let them. I'll let nature take its course with them.
All right. Okay. You do so. So you've got like a little pile of skins you kind of put around the campsite for the rest of the forest to enjoy. You've taken from the forest and you've given back some.
Nature's beef jerky.
Hey, who doesn't like jerky?
Well, it's true. But after that, and you spend another hour just getting your meal ready and eating it. You all enjoy the morning, and then get all of your horses back, set back up, and head on out. And you journey for a couple more hours before you essentially exit the heart of the forest. Like it's still on your eastern side, like on your right, on the road that you're traveling on, but it's starting to kind of go away on your left. Like as you move forward, the gap's widening on your left side, and as you get further out, there's another fork in the road. One going more east, which is the coast road to Gorgon, and then there is one that's going west, which is the western coast road, which goes to Oxfield and then on to Vilder, and ultimately as well to Tony. So are you still straight for Gorgon is what you're heading towards?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Because you're at a crossroads now, so this is where you make.
Yeah, well, we want to go to Sleet Hall, to Gorgon via Sleet Hall. Plan. Okay.
So you take the eastern fork and continue on the east coast road. As you go down that, the forest on your left just disappears, or disappears over the horizon. Like it's been cut down enough that you see some trees and some like unkept fields, but there's no forest on your left side on kind of like on this road. It's still on the right, but you don't see any like it looks like it's been logged. Like the left side of the road's been logged and it's just kept going from here. But you continue on, and it gets to about noon, and you're still a couple hours away from Sleet Hall as you journey. Get this going here. Where is my notes? Okay, here we go. All right. So you go for another 2 hours after noon. Make sure. I just want to make sure that I'm keeping the calendar correct here. Even though none of you guys are looking at it, it lets me keep track of things.
So Isaac, what's up with these wings?
You flew in the last battle.
And we haven't talked about this.
No, we haven't, and I'm glad that we haven't. We did talk about that. The wings that you saw were a gift bestowed on me by my deity. Because
weren't
those
they
were
magical wings anyway. They weren't natural.
Those ones were actually magical wings. They're not my natural wings. I don't have those yet.
Damn it! I
mean,
lost 20 silver for that.
A pain to write on a moving dog. I hope you realize.
So yeah, no, that's my answer. They were a gift bestowed on me by my deity for times of need.
Uh-huh. And your eyes? What's up? Like there's
That's just a birth defect. I can see perfectly fine.
I gathered that much. Just okay.
You've been actively reading paper and stuff. The whole
Yeah,
time that you've
we
been
figured
with this
that bit out.
party. The first session, you were reading a manifest in front of them.
That's been common knowledge since day dot.
Just nobody mentioned it. Just like, should we say something? I don't know.
Yeah, it's less to fool you guys, more to fool the NPCs we come across.
Yes, those dreaded evil NPCs.
And Rivallon, where are you from?
Neutral kingdom.
I was raised by wolves. Why?
Just wondering, pastime and all that.
What, were you actually raised by wolves?
Yes. Why?
Did you have to kill your brother?
No, my family was betrayed and I was abandoned in the wilds.
Oh.
Gonna have to transcribe these notes when I get to a place to sit down. Jesus Christ.
the dog's just like.
Leaving behind those not able to assist with the tribe is quite common in my own culture.
No, they were just betrayed for power. And I'm going to kill the ones who did it.
Oh.
Well, I wish you luck with that.
Violence is not always the answer, good sir.
Depends.
my
I think
family.
Such a great story.
violence can often be quite a good answer. While you're correct, that is not always a solution. You have to be hard in the wild waste southwest over the mountains. I think a peaceful person wouldn't last very long.
Let us agree to disagree, good sir.
And revenge makes a great story.
If it appears in any of your songs or in your stories, I will hunt you down.
Right. Got it.
I said, yeah.
Him scratching in his
coming from the Inquisitor.
scratching out things he just written.
But I'm sorry to hear about your family, Rivallon. I have some semblance of what that is like.
Okay. So you guys talk for a little while. It's been a couple hours. It's getting into the afternoon.
Arwen writes stuff down and scribbles it out.
Yeah. But you're most of the way towards Sleet Hall now. You can see it's not totally flat here. Like it's not marked on the map because it's not a major feature, but there are kind of some rolling hills. It's not totally flat. So there's a bit of an incline ahead of you. You can see some like the tips of some like maybe cook fires or some smoke from buildings a little off in the distance. But you round a little bend in the road, and you see off to the left side of the road what looks to be a couple of wagons, and they seem to have been like abandoned. Like they were covered at one point, but you see like holes in the covers and some broken wheels as you go past. I'm going to need everyone to make a perception check.
I was about to say if I could do a perception check.
Actually, I want to know something before. Okay.
It's alright.
Well,
Man, I'm rolling like shit tonight.
Well, go ahead, Isaac. I already rolled theirs. Just roll yours.
Shit, I think I just clicked the wrong button.
But just as a question, in the party sheet, on the main tab, underneath the listings of your guys' like characters,
How do I roll this again?
you click the thing that has the little die next to it. Double click it.
Oh, double click. Hmm.
Okay. R1, but just check on the party sheet underneath the list of your guys' characters. Do you have a thing that allows you to make checks? As a
Like there's
party?
a big stack of dice at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's it. No. In the party sheet.
No, I don't see
Oh.
anything in the party
Okay.
sheet.
Just wanted to check
Nope.
so I can make you guys do that. But all right.
Okay.
All right. So, because next time when I need you to do all of you to do a perception check, I'll just do that. Yeah. I'm also just going to do this. Yeah, separate that out. R1 and Rivallon.
Yeah, Rivallon. We'll just go with Rivallon, mate.
Rivallon. Well, you corrected me once in the first thing. You're like,
Yes, I
Rivallon?
know, but
No,
you
that's
keep
not the name.
but you keep saying Rivallon, so I said we'll just go with Rivallon because it's easier for you to remember.
Yeah, that's easier for me to remember.
Yeah.
So, you both see along the ripped edges of the canvas tops of these wagons, these abandoned wagons, you see red. It looks as if there are blood.
I think we should stop and investigate this. It looks like there's blood on the tops of the canvas roofs.
But maybe ambush.
Fine. You stay on your big dog then.
Well, if there is an ambush, I don't know if that's the best place to be. I'm still trying to figure this out.
I'm gonna dismount and go take a look at the wagons close
As
up
am I.
and investigate them.
Oh, yes. Investigation this, investigation that.
I did not ask for an investigation check. I'm just gonna point
I'm
out.
rolling one anyway.
So am I. Oh, nice.
We got the exact same.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did. We were as investigative as each other.
You didn't need it.
I
You didn't need it. I did not ask for it. So you guys walk up, and from where you were before, all you could really see was the wagons. But when you walk up closer, past the very tall grass of this field, you're first hit with kind of like a stick, just a wave of rot that you're smelling. And when you get closer, you can see the front of the wagons. The horses that were originally pulling these were not unhitched. These seemingly were attacked and killed and have been left at the side of the road. So there are rotting horses in front of the two wagons that were
Nice.
originally pulling the wagons. And it does not look like all of them are there. I will say, because you did roll an investigation check, it looks like they were killed, and the horses were killed while they were still pulling the wagons.
By what?
Well, you don't know. Does it look like something attacked them? It does not look like it was a.
It's not like a man-made sword or anything.
It wasn't
You're
a
thinking.
sword. No, there are rips. Like there are it looks like something bit and clawed into them and like took bits out. And you can see blood stains and stuff on the wagons too. And you're not exactly sure if that's if that's the blood of the horse or whoever was in these wagons.
Isaac, why don't you check the wagon? I'm going to have a look at these horse wounds, see if I can figure out what animal did it.
Okay.
Okay, now for you, Rivallon, why don't you go ahead and roll a? If you're gonna be, you're trying to ascertain the.
It would
the
be nature,
cause of
wouldn't
death,
it?
Or are you trying to ascertain the cause of death, or what did it?
What did it?
What did it? Okay, then yeah, you'd be looking for nature then. Okay, this was some sort of very large creature. You're not familiar with. You've rolled a 20, so you didn't roll your critical succeeded that. It's a large creature of some sort that has very sharp claws. It seems to have enough strength to wrestle down a full-size draft horse and keep it down while eating. So this thing was gotta be. It's got to be either the size of the horse or a little bit bigger, full of muscle, and from some of the cracked bones and stuff you're finding on this horse, this thing's got some pretty mean like bite pressure that this thing can exert. Like we're talking like big cat kind of size, like a lion or a tiger or something like that in terms of like bite pressure and size and strength. You're not familiar with anything that would be able to do this, though. That's your problem. You've never encountered anything that's done this. Like you've heard of creatures that can do this, but they're not native to Iral. They're like other continents.
Right.
And then I need an investigation check from you, Isaac, because you're trying to find what's inside of the
15.
15. Okay. You go into one of the wagons, and it seems that this was maybe a trade caravan, or at least some sort of goods were being moved. But from what you can see, it was probably some sort of food stuff, because the bags that were originally in here have just been like creatures have got into this.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
maybe
So, like-
random forest.
So, like, yeah.
Like you're talking like field mice have opened up the bags, and then just like birds and stuff have gotten into here, and it's picked clean.
Scavengers.
Like scavengers. You've seen like it definitely wasn't meat. Like none of this was meat. It was maybe like grain and flour and stuff like that. Because there's still some flour. There's bits of it in the bags, but it's essentially just like the burlap still there. Is what you find.
Yeah.
But there was this must have been filled, or at least most of the way to the weight capacity of the wagon at one point. But it's gone now. You didn't find a body or anything, but you definitely did find blood inside of the wagon that could not have gotten in here from the horse, unless the horse was originally in the wagon when it was killed.
Also, for the grain to have pretty much all gone from these sacks, this must be a couple of days old at least. It can't be completely fresh. Like, is the
With
blood dried?
The blood's dry. Yeah, the blood
Yeah.
it's stained. It's not still.
Yeah, it's all staining.
liquid.
It's
all
there's no
staining, so
pooling
it's-
on top
you
of staining. There's no
guess-
2 days, 3 days.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we're pushing 3 days. Pushing 3 days here.
Okay.
Okay.
Basically the same thing for the lead wagon as well.
H-
Less
How's
of the
it
horses
going?
there on the lead wagon.
Huh? We what?
How's it going? You find anything?
Isaac?
One can assume that this was a trade caravan of some sort. All of the goods have been picked clean by forest creatures. There's not much to tell here, although I did find some more blood stains within the carriage, which means, unfortunately, there was a driver of the cart that, well, he's not here anymore.
Well, the horse was taken down by something with incredible bite strength, and there's must be at least the size of a horse to hold it down while it was killed. I've heard of creatures in foreign lands with this kind of strength, but nothing from around here. And if it's been, I guess, 3 days, it may start hunting again.
For something not of this area to suddenly appear in the ecosystem, is there a chance that this might be something less creature-like, more supernatural?
It's possible. It could also have been brought in to one of the local ports and escaped.
Oh wait, no, you got to roll. You got a natural 20. Hold on, I missed that part of my notes. As what you give this information as you're walking away from the horse, Rivallon.
Yeah.
You notice in the ground, because it hasn't rained for a few days up here. You notice in the ground, it's old. It's not fresh in any way, but there are tracks leading away from them, and they're definitely like you look down at there. Definitely like if you balled your fist up like that,
Yeah.
they're about that big. They got they got 4 toes. It's like some sort of pads on each of the toes,
Mm-hmm.
and it's definitely furred. But it's 4-legged, and from the size of it, you're looking at a large creature. Like in terms of gameplay, you're looking at a large creature. So size of the horse, kind of, it's a pretty big thing.
Okay, in which case I transfer that knowledge all to my friends.
Yeah, I missed that in my notes. You rolled a 20, so you would have gotten it.
Okay.
So, question.
Mm-hmm.
This is more to Isaac because this is his wheelhouse. Do you think we need to go after this creature, or can we continue on to Sleet Hall?
Hmm. I don't know. The it does seem like leaving it might be against our better nature. Should any other caravans succumb to the same fate, and for all we know, the driver of said caravan might still be alive. It's a very, very slim chance, but there's no body here, so we cannot confirm or deny that he is dead.
Uh-huh. Uh Ustenia or
Yes.
Isaac. How either one of you, how far do you think we are from Sleet Hall?
Well, I don't know this area very well. Isaac, you have map.
Can I give a guesstimate of where we are?
At your pace you've been going, maybe an hour.
We're an hour away from Sleet Hall.
Yeah, I mean you can see the smoke on the horizon from the village, so it's like cook fires and chimneys smoke.
So essentially, we
You're not-
could go to town and report it and come back and look for it, the creature.
Yeah, you're not that far away. Like it's
Okay.
it might still be light by the time you get back here.
Red Dude Twitch, thanks very much for the follow, dude.
Nice.
We could go into town, see if we can hail some authorities, and then come back and look for ourselves, or if they're already handling it, leave it to the proper authorities and continue on our way.
What does the weather look like?
Today, the weather it's the 35th. It's a mild, so it's about the same temperature. It's clear, it hasn't rained at all, and there's just some it's a little light breeze coming in from the west.
Okay, but it's not overcast or anything.
No, it's actually it's perfect. You can see blue skies the whole day. It's almost no cloud cover. It's been
So we're not
actually
gonna lose our
amazing travel
tracks.
weather.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about was the tracks.
From what you can tell, it's pretty dry here. It hasn't rained for a while.
Well then I guess we should go into Sleet Hall and go from there. Which directions did you see which direction the tracks were headed in, Rivallon?
I didn't
They
because
were
I wasn't
heading
told.
into yeah, they were heading into the forest, kind of a northerly direction. Like these wagons are kind of north of the road you're on, like northwest.
So they'll be going northwest into the forest.
Yeah, they're going deeper into the forest. Is what they're doing.
Going deeper underground.
Well, if I could see the map, Isaac, then I would say they were going into Frandair Forest.
Okay.
Well, let's go into Sleet Hall and let them know, because they might have been expecting this character.
All right. So you begin your journey anew, leaving the remains of the wagons and horses behind as you continue on your journey on the main eastern coast road, where you kind of go up over this little elevation change that you've been kind of going up for the last 20 or 30 minutes, where you reach the top and you can see now, off in the distance, the village of Sleet Hall. It's not too far away. You can make out buildings, etc. So if I can now, I think I can show you guys a little image of it. So you got a little bit of a idea of what this looks like. So share sheet. So it's a large village. Sits along the shore of the Bay of Gold, and from what you've known in the talk of individuals from Fall Harbor, it's mostly known for timber that it exports from the Fandair Forest. That goes to Gorgon. for things like shipbuilding and the like.
Has anyone else got the map?
Still
You
loading.
can-
Yep, I got it.
It's still loading.
It takes a bit of a while.
Oh, there we go. Thank you
So
very much.
it's got
Yeah.
like a little, like is that a well in the center, or is that a circular building?
From what you can, you can't actually see it from where you're
Okay.
at. It looks you're not sure. But yeah, it's laying on a flat open section along the shore, and it has a small dock that you can see that's kind of into the Bay of Gold. You see a couple of fishing ships or fishing boats, really, is what you see kind of floating along some of the dockyards. And you also see what seems to be like a mid-sized trade trawler sitting in dock as well. Like it's not big, maybe like twice the size of a normal fishing boat. It might be something that goes between Fall Harbor and Sleet Hall, or maybe Gorgon and Sleet Hall. It's nothing big. It's definitely not a bulk transport, but small thing. And on the outskirts of the town, on the village, you see many small farms in the open fields between it and where the Fandare Forest is now at. And from what you can tell, it seems that they've been logging pretty heavily into this forest. Like this, from the terrain that you can see from where you're at right now, you can see the scars of where the forest used to be, almost on the edge of Sleet Hall, but now pushed out maybe a good mile from the outskirts of the village. Like it's been definitely used heavily. Lumbered. What is it called? What do you call it? It's been clear cut in a lot of ways for use in the shipbuilding industries. But yeah, you can see some chimney fires and etc. coming in or wafting up from the rooftops. It seems to be just a normal village. And as you move forward, you can also see a couple other things. On the outskirts of town, a little closer to the Fandare Forest than to Sleet Hall, you see a few camps of tents outside the village, kind of on the north side of it, northwestern side of it. And you see kind of people milling about these little camps. From what you can tell from where you're at right now, just hit the microphone. There are 4 camps, like 4 distinct camps in this area.
Are there any like flags flying, banners flying, like in these camps?
No, there doesn't seem to be any distinctive marks. It's just
And
like
they're
they're
fairly small.
not.
Is there
Yeah,
any
no,
fires or something coming from these?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like a lot of cook fires. Like this, you can tell actually.
Anything bigger than a cook fire, like bonfire levels?
No, not really. Not really.
Okay.
It's no bonfires. Like it's very much like a subsistence fire. Nothing for purposes like exterior to that.
No
R1, you would
furnace-y
know
or-
this because the Aglor Coast has a very large military. You've seen military camps before. This isn't a military camp because military camps are color. Like everybody that has
Right,
a tent,
yeah.
they want to show off they've got a tent. These
Mhm.
guys, this is like bear camp. So these are like normal guys or people that have just like got these like little pup tents and stuff set up. But it's a good amount of them. There's probably a couple hundred people in these little camps, grand total.
Like
As
a
a
logging
military.
camp.
But
Well,
that's
might
what
as
you
well
see
just
from your perch. You're on
continue
the
into-
top of
we
an
can-
incline, then you're gonna go down again.
We can figure it out when we get into town, I guess.
Okay. So you continue on your movement, on your journey.
Would I know that as well?
No what?
About that being a military camp?
Your experience is church based, and
Yeah, but
the militarized arms of churches are less so. Like their camps, their camps are more uniform because they have the symbols of the religion. So you've seen like kind of the military arm of Palor.
I'm still the
and
child of a
couple areas.
noble.
Yeah, but
Knight.
not So
Doesn't mean you'd go to the camps.
when
No,
did
true.
when did that all occur? Because I know your backstory. When did it all occur? How old were you? Because
6.
yeah, Arwan's been around the Aglor coast his whole most of his life. And
To be fair, he does have 50 years on me, so.
yeah, he's been in military camps before. He's also a bard, so he's written down things of kind of the exploits of individuals and stuff during his training as a bard. So he's been to military camps before. He'd be the only one that would really have seen it. You might have in your childhood, but he was just the first one that would know that. But you continue on your journey down the incline and into the actual village itself.
Who's typing?
That would be me. Sorry.
I thought it's fine. But you continue on, and as you get closer, you notice there's a lot less people walking around than you would think. Like, this isn't a small village. Like, this is fairly big. Like 600-ish people. Like, it's on the cusp of being called a town. Is what you'd say. The only difference is I don't think this has. Yeah, it just doesn't have a lot of infrastructure here, so it's a bit more spread out. The buildings are not as tall or tight knit. But there's not as many people milling about. You don't see a lot of people in the fields outside of the village. It seems very kind of, all honesty, kind of dank and dreary, even though it is a very nice day. As you get closer and closer, you can see that there are kind of little groups of guards, maybe one or two doing patrols, kind of on the edge of town, here and there. And you also see these camps are very active in contrast with the village itself. Like, these, but not in a purposeful way. These people aren't doing anything, like, out in the camp. There's no, like, there's not jobs people are doing. They're more just milling about, kind of going between things. You know, see a couple people maybe doing some laundry in, like, little irrigation ditches of the fields they're next to, like that kind of stuff. But nothing purposeful. And as you get closer and closer, a group of 2 guards kind of see you and then make a beeline from where they were patrolling onto the main road, and then it's kind of down to where you are. And one of them holds out a hand to kind of halt you on your way. And saying, one steps forward and goes, "What's your business in Sleet Hole?" Say, it's a human.
Well, sir, we're just passing through on a way to Gorgon. But we do
Alright.
bring some bad news. About an hour or so down the road, we came across a couple of wagons that had looked like they'd been attacked by some big creature. The horses had been mauled, and any humanoids that were with it were
Yeah, we know about it. Actually, the beasts have been terrorizing things around here. Well, beasts. Who knows what it is? Been terrorizing things around here for the last week or so.
Is that why there's the increased guard presence around?
Well, no. That's because of them. He points out to one of them. Like, that's out in the distance. Seems as if the logging guilds got attacked pretty heavy, and they abandoned their camps deeper in the Fandare. But
Attacked by what?
Whatever attacked the caravan. Not sure what it is, but it hit them, killed a couple folk. Then they came rolling out, and they wanted lodging inside the village. We don't have enough space, so they set up outside. And we're just making sure we're making sure they don't do nothing. And also making sure nothing gets inside the village. But if you're tradesmen, just travelers moving into Gorgon, then you're welcome in Sleet Hole. There's not much here right now. but
So I suppose you'd call us adventurers. We don't bring much to trade.
eh, either way, as long as you're not here to bother us, you're welcome in Sleet Hall, at least for a while.
Does the village have a church or chapel?
Yeah, the Temple of Idara. It points back to there's like a short, stout building near what you assume to be some sort of market square in the center of town. Uh, Seems to be made of like a kind of white brick and some bare timber reinforcement. And it's Lyra, which is Liira.
So that's a specific god.
Yes. If you need to know exactly what god it is in terms of like
Goddess of
rituals and
joy,
everything. Yeah.
of the life domain. Ugh.
Yeah, she's
Lyra.
yeah, Lyra. She's well liked by the kind of like the lower classes of people and everything. Like smaller villages have temples to her a lot of times. Very, you know, it's not one of the main gods of the freeholds, but it's one of the more common. But you see, yeah, you
Joy,
see,
happiness, dance, festivals, trade, money, and wealth. Okay.
yeah, pretty expected for a town like this, for a village that deals in a lot of trade and it's kind of crossroads, or almost crossroads. But yeah, he points to that and says, "Temple of Lyra back there. That's about all. That's about it."
Oh, it's actually Lyra. The double I means a double E. Lyra.
Okay, well, I'm glad all of us got that wrong in different ways.
Yeah, well,
at the same time.
to be fair, I would say that Lyra because it's got eyes in it.
Yeah, Lyra. Yeah, but Lyra, you got that. We got that. Though, if you need, I think there might be a traveling preacher of. Who is it here? Preacher of. Oh God, I should have had. I gotta get this out of my notebook.
Oh, they're known as Joybringers. That just sounds. They sound like.
Oh, bless me.
But they don't bring joy.
They think they do.
They do. Where the fuck is?
Nothing against Mormons. I'm just going off of the stereotype.
This stereotype.
Bless me.
Yeah, you're looking at. He's. God damn it! Everything's spread around here. Sorry, guys. It's been so hectic here. I didn't have time to get all my notes in the right place.
No worries.
That's right. We haven't played in about a month and a bit.
Yeah, it's closer to
Bless
something
you.
than not.
Thank you.
Hey, Lord bless you.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a traveling priest of Moradin. If that's what you're looking for. I think he's still here, but he might have left this morning. I'm not sure.
Thank
That's
you.
what he says when you ask about about temples. But yeah, if you need some place to stay for the night, you can. The Fox's Tail is back that way. And he points out to like a medium-sized, kind of larger-sized building. It's 2-story. It's got like a little fence in the front of it.
Do we have a stable we can use?
Yeah. There's. It's not. There's a lot of people that they're using it right now. A lot of the farmers don't want the horses out in their own barns, so it might be full. But it's towards the north side of town.
Well, thank you.
Is there a mayor of the town?
Reeve.
Reeve?
Yeah, it's Bon. Miss Redbuckle.
Where would we find her?
Right now, probably. He just kind of looks at the other guard that he's with. Probably making a ruckus inside of the tavern about the lumber guild. It is past noon, so it's definitely time for that. Kind of one of the other
I
guard
see.
smiles a little bit.
Thank you very much. How would you describe her, actually, so we know we're talking to the right person?
Fiery.
I meant physically, but unless she's on
That
fire,
also applies.
Okay, so red hair, angry.
But if you need to talk was it the two wagons? Was it the two wagons? You said it was 2 wagons an hour back, about a half hour after the
Fork in
turn
the
off
road?
to the western road.
Yes.
Okay. Did it look like a? Well, we already know about it. Didn't all we know is that something attacked them. If you have any other information, you could tell us, and we'll bring it to the captain. Let his Wonder Boy figure out what's going on with that. And they say that into writing.
Wonder Boy? Questioning me?
Wonder Boy.
The other guard, who's just like been kind of off to the side, just he smiles a little bit, smirked. They look at each other. With the whole whatever's attacking things, some individual is probably the best thing I could call him. Got hired by Balgat, and he's apparently a great hunter from Repkus down south. Safariman, if you believe him, though he hasn't found or done anything yet.
You left him.
Well, our astute elven friend here was able to find a large amount of tracks leading from the attack site into the forest to the north.
One of them seemed impressed.
God damn.
Just open them! Just open them!
God damn it.
Rivallon's off to the
Just
side trying to open.
Rip it like a band-aid! Open
He's
them
trying to
quick!
open a ration off to the side, just like.
No. And rip the packet a little bit so you can get your hand in without rustling.
Yeah. Damn it.
Can't help it. The many
Nice.
eggs.
Yeah. He says he's a. Well, I think that's a new. I think that's new. Not sure if he found those tracks. So it was going into the forest, like up north.
4-legged animal, as big as a horse, but with bite pressure that shouldn't be from this country.
That definitely sounds like what they described. They say that the workers up in the guild workers for the lumber guild, they say it's some black creature, comes at night, got very yellow eyes that glow in the dark.
Direwolf.
They don't say it's the wolf. It doesn't make noise. That's what they say. Because a wolf would make noise. We've faced direwolves before. They're not common, but Fandare's got a whole bunch of them. But it doesn't make any noise. It comes out of nowhere, and direwolves don't attack people. I mean, they attack people, but they don't attack them for pleasure. This thing
Unless
doesn't
you-
eat half the people it attacks.
I have one other question.
Yeah.
There's no history in this area of were creatures is the easiest way to put it. I know
Were creatures. Like
Werewolves. He's talking about werewolves.
Yes, lycanthropes.
Not out here. No, you thinking like the plains, like Teuton, Techian.
I just wondered if it's the same here. We're relatively new to the Dwarven freeholds.
You don't see that kind of stuff out here. I mean, if you do, it's usually in the holds. Not out here. It's quiet. It's usually quiet out here. It's just, I don't know what's going on. But no, it's probably new information. You should probably go and tell Balgat when you get a chance. Let him know. Maybe we can get his golden boy up there, and he can track those tracks. See if he can actually kill something for once.
Well, glad we could help. Be seeing you. Slowly trot my horse.
And they go back on they go back to their patrol path. You can hear them laughing a bit for each other as they go off.
I think we should
But-
stable our horses and then go to the inn, maybe.
It's not a bad idea.
I have a feeling we're not going to keep heading on to Gorgon, are we?
Probably not.
No, you're gonna have to wait for your elf woman.
Yeah. There are other things I'm trying to get.
So, you enter into Sleeth Hall. And once you actually get within the village limit, it's more active than it seemed, but it seems to be confined kind of towards the interior part of town. Nobody's really going off to the exterior parts unless they have to, like on the edges of town. So you don't see kids. Like that's another thing you're not noticing. You're not seeing any kids kind of out on the streets without supervision. And people are kind of like when they go out, they're darting between one building to another, and they're kind of staying out. Like these people seem to be a little freaked out. But you do enter into the center of the village, and this is indeed a market square in the center, and you see kind of it looks to be a combination statue of let's see here, a statue of, that's not the right village. What is it? What was the name of the god? How do we say we're gonna pronounce that? Was it again?
Lyra.
Lyra. It looks to be a statue of Lyra, like a small one, on top of kind of the stone well. Like it's very dwarvish well. Like it's got instead of it being made of wood, it's very stone. But it's got like a little, kind of like a half bust of like from the chest up of Lyra. Kind of topped out. And that's what you see in the center of town. But yeah, it's fairly normal. Other than that, you do see off to the northern bit, which is you see here. That is the stables, like the place behind it. That opening seems to be the area where they keep the animals in like a little corral.
Okay.
But yeah, you head up there to stable your horses. And when you reach there, they weren't kidding. This place is pretty full. It's not even a lot of riding horses. You see a lot of work horses in here, like farming horses, and even a couple of like not horses, like ox,
Yeah.
like cows, like in here.
Mules.
People that can afford it to put them in there instead of being out in their
Paddocks.
yeah. But when you reach there, there's a little stable hand. Looks to be young dwarf, like teenage kind of dwarf. But he's just got done kind of mucking out a stable when he sees you coming up. Right, can I help you? What do you need?
4 stables.
4.
Hang on. Do we need one for the dog? We don't need one for the dog, I believe.
Barry doesn't need a stable.
He's
3
a dog,
stables.
but he doesn't need a stable.
Stabling for 3 horses.
3. Looks back. Looks at your horses. Would you be all right with maybe doubling up on 1?
If the horses will be comfortable enough.
Well, that's what I'm asking. I don't know your horse's temperament, so do they want to be alone, or can they handle it?
My horse is good horse. It will handle it.
My horse is a recent purchase. I haven't quite worked out his temperament yet either.
Mine should be fine. Working with Ustinias. They know each
Yeah,
other
but
for
the other ones-
quite a while now.
All right, so those 2 together, and then yours by yourself. We just have 2 stables open, so
Yeah, we hear there's a ruckus in town that is good for your business, it seems.
Well, it would be, but there's just so there's just so many, and local farmers that not as dependable as a caravan coming through that rinse up the stables. So we have to turn the caravans away. You're lucky. Couple of farmers decided they were going to just use their barn, and not pay the fees. So 2 stables. What we got right now? He's like doing some math in his head, and he's definitely counting on his fingers. How long are you planning on being here?
Couple of days.
Maybe, hopefully, just the night, but the situation might develop that we stay a bit longer.
Why don't I say this? Pay up for 3 days, and if you go early, I'll give you back a bit of your deposit.
Sounds
Fine.
fine.
Okay. It'd be 2 silver a night. So for each of you, that's 2 silver a night. So you're going 6 silver each one of you.
Wait a minute. Wait,
How many
whoa.
One
how
of
many
them is-
We're
Hang
paying
on.
twice for one stable.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Between you, it'd just be it'd be 1 silver for you guys. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you could pull that over on me. Commissioner.
Sorry, I didn't mean that.
Are we, if we pay, are we free to come get our horses and take them in and out? Is another question.
Oh, you wanna? Oh,
It's just,
If
just
you want to take
because-
him out for the day, extra silver. If you want me to reserve that stable.
He's a bit of a feisty one, isn't he? How would you like me to pin him to the wall with an arrow?
How about we give you the normal price for the for the stables, and I'll give you 2 silver to allow us to do that you can keep yourself.
I love the shifty eyes.
Shooty.
The
Not,
stable boy, he's trying to
an
get
underpaid stable hand. He's an underpaid stable hand. He looks over, kind of looks behind him, doesn't see his boss. Right, I could do that.
So, I think we should pay for 2 days, like, so I'll pay 4, you pay 4 between you.
Yeah.
Okay.
and I'll give
It'd
him
be 2 silver
silver.
for Rivallon and Estenia. 4 silver for you. Then plus 2 silver for paying off
So
the
I-
stable hand.
Yeah, I'll just pay 6 silver, that's fine.
Yeah.
So it's now inventory, scroll down to the bottom, click the silver, type the new number.
Type the new number.
Yeah,
you
there we go. We
Right.
got it.
You're getting
And if you
you're
type
getting
0,
dude.
it
You're
goes
doing
blank.
Ah, okay.
I'm gonna be like,
Oh no.
So,
Yeah, but you get your blankety blank checkbook and pen.
so you've gone ahead and stabled your horses. This very full stable now. Everything is now full here. Every stable. I mean, every stall in the stable is full. There we go, stall. That's what I was looking for earlier. But now you are in town, and you were pointed towards the Fox's Tail earlier. It's not necessarily opposite. It's over here. This is the Fox's Tail. This little L-shaped building here. It has and you can definitely tell it because it has a little sign with a stylized Fox's Tail. It's actually a fairly nice inn. It's got a little fence around the front bit of it that goes into it. So fairly nice. And are you heading there? That's what you were doing?
Yep.
You
Well.
gentlemen head into the inn, see if you can find the Reeve. I'm gonna quickly pop into the temple.
okay, boss.
Well, I think
Again,
we should approach the
not
Reeve
yours.
as a group, because we each have a different area of that we understand better, and it would be better to bring a cohesive idea than lack a lack a point of view. I'm, you know what I mean?
I will join you as soon as possible. I just need to go inside very quickly. Just see if you can find her.
Okay.
All right. So,
Quick question: when's our break?
I think it's
Are we
right around
taking a
now.
break?
Yeah, we can take one right now.
Yeah.
We
No, I
started
was just
an hour.
wondering if we were
Well,
going to
yeah,
take a break.
it would be a right now. But obviously we started an hour late. I don't know what time we're going to a normal time still. So this part will be longer, but that's fine.
I was just
A
wondering. I
break
just
would be
wondered.
nice now because we started.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
no worries.
started at the same time. We just didn't start the
Yeah,
the thing.
we'll take a break.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone watching, we're going to take a quick bio break. We'll be about 5 minutes. Enjoy. My internet's being very slow today. So I've decided to play my audience the Stronghold soundtrack while we're on break.
Nice. The villagers are happy, my lord.
Oh, that fits so well with what was going on in my ears. I'll be right back. I'm just going to get a look.
We need more food, sire.
Still there, Utari?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, couldn't tell. Can't see you.
Can't see.
But yeah, I did look it up, and I think that's your problem with your webcam for Discord.
Okay.
Is-
I'll have
so
to
you just need to
look that.
find your manufacturer's website and the thing from there.
Yeah.
Ba-ba-doo-ba-doo-doo.
Enjoying everything so far?
Who, me?
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
to both of you actually.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think it's going to take a bit of getting used to, but looks pretty good.
It definitely, once we get into actually any type of combat, you guys will see I'll streamline a lot of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Not sure I like this being able to talk in languages other people won't understand.
Yeah, me and R1 are definitely putting that to use. Like I said to Utari, my audience are currently listening to the Stronghold 1 soundtrack. So it's a good game soundtrack, to be fair.
It
For this
is.
sort of
It's
thing.
fantastic. I actually sometimes play the game as well. I quite enjoy Stronghold 2.
Yeah, Stronghold 2 is my favorite, I think, actually.
Yeah.
Deluxe edition.
I'm a bit worried if
Like
they ever come
skirmish
out.
mode
with-
as well.
Yeah.
Isn't there a new one coming out at some point this year?
I'm a bit worried about that. Like, is it going to be like the old games engineered to look
Stronghold
good
3
on
is
today's
finished.
modern engines? Because they've done re-releases, and I mean, you look at Diablo, look at Dungeon Keeper, and Command and Conquer, and all those classic games that ended up being mobile games. Like,
Well, Dungeon
surprise!
Keeper got remade by another company as well, though, which is pretty good.
Well, isn't that the for the Overworld, which is
What-
kind of a spiritual?
Yeah, there's a
Remake?
spiritual successor, but even they did a spiritual successor when they got like the same narrator in and everything to do the voices.
Yeah.
There's that one. That's
There's that one, but it's not the official one.
No,
But
there's
it's
no
still-
there's
it's
no
still
official
fine.
games.
Yeah,
Dungeon Keeper 2 was the last one of them.
yeah. Number 3 don't
Hey,
even count.
The thing with Command and Conquer was when Command and Conquer 4 came out, EA wanted the next esports giant,
Yeah.
so they completely destroyed.
EA's just chasing trends. That's the problem.
They're not
with those
making
big
trends; they're
companies.
chasing them.
They're chasing
Yeah.
them. And that's why things like that's why they'll never be big. Like they'll never get a huge one because if they don't embrace new ideas instead of forcing companies to do.
Are they? They're losing money hand over fist into, well, not money, but stock share certainly, which means that they're being
That
seen as a
It's
less
not
and less
entirely. It's not entirely because they're a shit company right now. It's because all tech companies are losing a lot of market share. Like if you look for
Okay.
a lot of stocks, they're losing a lot. But they're worse than most. Like them and Blizzard
Yeah.
have lost a crap load more than like Apple and Google and stuff like that.
Yeah,
We're talking-
they're certainly being seen as less safe bets by investors.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Did
they
you guys see
made
this?
what?
Paradox acquired Prison Architect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't notice
Oh.
that.
yeah, that was out earlier on today, mate.
Oh.
Came
I
out-
mean, good on them. I mean, it's a good game, and it's definitely up their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, be more of a Paradox than an EA, because Paradox are willing to fund companies doing something new, like that or Slytherin. Slytherin doesn't
Yeah.
give a shit what you do. Slytherin will publish your game, no matter what. Like, it's
Just as long as they like it.
as long as it's a game, they'll publish it.
It kind of sounds like Games Workshop's licensing policy these
Kind of,
days.
Yeah.
As long as it's got 40k on there, they don't care if it's a reskin tower defense game that you already had out, but you just slap
way,
40k over it.
Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2.
Yeah.
was really fun. I was in the.
Does
I
it
have-
resolve a lot of the issues of 1?
It makes it changes up enough that I think it's better. Like, what were the problems you had with the original one?
I didn't like the whole slow-mo thing that they added in. I think the balancing was pretty awful, and they didn't really work that out all that well at all.
I only played the beta, so
Yeah.
I don't know yet. I think because I got a code for the beta, I think I'll also have the main game because
Yeah.
I think that's a thing. So I'll know more about that when I played it because I only had a couple of days to play it. The campaign I found is the campaign prologue really fun. I liked it a
Yeah.
lot. Voice acting is still just as bad as the first game.
Yeah.
Which I think is the charm of it. In my opinion.
Well, I quite like cheesy, terrible voice acting from Dawn of
Then you'll
War,
love
so
it.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, you'll love it.
Brothers.
I will say there's a balancing issue in the fact that the Tyranids and the Necrons seemed a little overpowered in the multiplayer. But I'm
Yeah.
not sure if that's going to be resolved or not. Probably
Okay.
because it was pretty apparent. Each race feels different though. Like each fleet that you can play feels different enough that I think it justifies them being there.
Okay.
And
Because
they
Chaos
added more
felt very
ships.
much samey as Imperium. Just you generally ranged, and then
I think
Chaos
they've
tended to have similar
balanced
builds.
things a bit. They balanced
Yeah.
things a bit. They made the chaos more ranged, but they made it more ranged in a way that actually plays a little different. They have to play different to make it work, which I think
Yeah.
is good. They added more ships in, so like the Imperium now has all of the Armageddon era ships, so like
Yeah.
endurance class, like cruiser, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so they have more things. The Grand Cruisers are in there now.
What about the
so
the Space Marines? Because I felt that in
They're
the first
still
one they were
bare
very
bones.
limited.
they're still a bit bare. They have a couple more ships, but they're still bare bones. So
Yeah.
it's
Like-
I think that's how they have to play though, because
I get it, like,
they're
yeah.
supposed to be few in number, but very good. Their ships are good individually. Their ships are very good.
Yeah.
They're just fewer. Where it's
Yeah.
kind of the dichotomy is that the Tyranids are they got a shitload of ships, and same with the Orcs. So it's I think it works. It just depends on how it plays in the grand scheme of things. Again, I only played the beta, so so
Yeah.
far I liked it a lot, and I never actually encountered the slowdown multiplayer. Either
Yeah.
nobody knew it existed, or it's no longer there. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So
All right.
I don't know about the multiplayer. It's in there in the single player, but I don't know about
Yeah.
the multiplayer. So
Yeah,
Are we-
because that I didn't really. It seemed great for single player, not so much like in the first one. The big issues for me though were balancing, especially in multiplayer. The campaign had a great framework to it, but poorly executed. I found as you get further into it, it kind of really loses steam, and there just wasn't enough variety.
yeah, I think
You
the
know,
variety's
like
been changed.
Chaos and Imperium played pretty much the same because the one strategy that really worked in the Imperium until they nerfed it and then you ended up just brawling. But the one really good strategy was a ranged strategy. What does Chaos play? Well, Chaos really only has ranged. Imperium, you kind of had in the beginning, you had Spider Tank Nova Cannon sniping setups, or you had sort of just straight up brawling, depending, on your micromanaging capacity.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's changed. You'll have to play it. But I think it made a bit better.
Yeah.
But I think we're good to go. Everybody good?
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
So there you go.
All right. So you guys have put your horses into the stable and have now split up, with Isaac going towards the Temple of Lyra, and the rest of you heading towards the Fox's Tail, the tavern in town. So we'll go with the ones that are going to the tavern first. So you head over to the tavern, and already before you even get to the front door of the tavern, you can hear a kind of a loud din. Like, no individuals, but you can hear a din from outside. Just people like, just like it's all mixed in together. But it's fairly loud as you get closer and closer. And when you open the door, you see a fairly standard inn. It's nothing special on the inside. It looks like the outside is where they met. They got like a nice white fence on the outside, very very nicely drawn symbol for the inn, like that kind of stuff, and sign. But on the inside, pretty standard. Whole bunch of different chairs and tables. It's pretty full. Look, a lot of farmers, a lot of people that work in town. It looks like are all inside, all talking. They've all got drinks. And as you walk inside, you can see off in the corner a looks to be like an older dwarfish woman, not like decrepit or very old, but just like older, like past standard adult, but has wild red hair done up in braids, and you can see her standing up, which does not necessarily make her all that much taller than having sit in the chairs, but she's in the midst of a very loud sentence as you walk in, and you just hear it kind of tell it. And I'll tell you another thing: they don't pay their taxes on time. It's ridiculous. And just takes a swig of what seems to be some sort of very foamy brew, and you hear like a whole bunch of individuals kind of around. They're paying attention to it, and they're just like a couple of them are like instead of clapping, back in the old days they would just kind of slap a table when they instead of clapping, a couple of them would just
Yeah, so they didn't have to put their drinks
dinner
down.
people. Yeah. Yeah, that is one of the reasons. So, yeah, they're slapping the table, they're raising up their drinks.
I guess we've
They'll tell you,
found
if
our
they don't
regent.
deal with this in the next couple of days, I'm gonna run them out of town. You know, even louder. Just kind of like.
Yeah,
And
I think we found her.
Yeah. Who wants a drink?
Yes.
Well, I love a drink.
I'll see if they've got any fermented goat's milk.
All right, you there's not a lot of like. Basically, it's just more of the same. It's a lot of complaining from that side of the tavern. A lot of complaining. A lot of people grumbling about things not being done. And it's just like, you know, they can't protect their workers. Why the hell do we have to? Why the hell are they asking us to send our guards out? Or why do we have to put our money up for things? That kind of stuff. But you head up to the bar, and you see in a kind of a very kind of overweight male halfling behind the bar. He seems to be standing on something because he's above the bar, like not above the bar, but he's to the point where you look like a normal bartender would be there. And when you walk up, he puts a rag over his shoulder and goes, "What can I do you for?"
All right, I'll have 2 of your finest ales, 1 fermented goat's milk, and a water.
Don't have the goat's milk.
You still here? They don't have the goat's milk.
Yeah, God, you.
Make that 3
I
ales.
have what they're having.
3 ales and a water.
3. Okay. All right. And he, like you hear him work the tap, and he's got 3 full mugs of ale put out in front of you, and like so over gets a glass and kind of just dunks it into a bucket that's behind there and puts the water out. That's fine. Yeah, nothing for the water. 5 coppers.
Anyone got 5 coppers? I've only got gold.
I can break a gold for you if you need it.
All right, there's 1 gold.
All right, you give him 1 gold, you get 9 silver and 9. You get 9 silver and 5 copper back.
Cool. I'm assuming maths makes sense. I don't know.
Powers of 10.
Powers of 10.
It's
Okay.
like metric.
Gentlemen and halflings, enjoy.
Is there anywhere that has 4 open seats?
The bar. Everybody else is sitting. Like this place is full. Like there's no open tables anywhere. There's the bar that has a couple of stools kind of in front of it, and seems not many people want to be up there. So there's a couple. There's some people that are kind of just like all like they're deep in. It's pretty late for them in the day, and they're on the bar. But other than that, it's just you guys.
And is there like a divide in the room of people who want the group like listening to the Reeve, and then another group that is not so much, or is it everyone's there for?
It's less of a divide of people listening, or people agreeing and people disagreeing, and more of a divide of people who are listening to her and other people who are kind of sick of it.
Okay.
Nobody's actively going like, "Oh, she's wrong. She doesn't know what she's talking about." It's more like, "Well, she shut the hell up."
Right. Got it. Okay.
Kind of a thing. That's what you get from the room. You don't see anybody actively disagreeing. Just more people just like they're kind of like getting down.
This
And just,
again?
just, like,
Oh, for God's sake!
putting up
Not
their
again.
ears. Some of them rolling their eyes. It just says the same thing twice, like that kind of thing. That's what you get from this so far. Just a lot of. It seems more people are kind of actively agreeing with her or are into this right now. You're not sure if that's because of the drink, or or that's normal, or because of the situation and people are actually fed up with what's going on. It's hard to read the room like that.
We need Isaac.
And speaking of which, yeah, we head over Isaac as your party walk over towards the tavern.
Party
Yeah.
of 1.
you walk over towards the temple, which again, as previously stated, it's made of white brick. You're not sure if that's naturally white or if it's been whitewashed, but then reinforced with bare timbers.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very tall, so there's no like bell tower or anything like that. It's squat, and just it's what you'd expect. It's nothing
Yeah.
extravagant. Nothing extravagant. It's what you'd expect from kind of like a roadside temple to kind of a popular god or goddess in this case.
Mm-hmm.
The doors don't seem to be closed or barred or anything like that. It seems to be open. You do see a couple of people off to the side of the building that look to be maybe assistants to the assistants or some sort of individuals who work in the temple that are kind of tending to a little garden. They don't pay you much mind. They're just watering some plants, and one of them's kind of like weeding, but
Okay.
just that looks maybe a vegetable garden, you think, but nothing too extravagant outside. But when you walk inside, it's got a large central room with kind of rows of benches, no backs to the benches, just benches, and a single raised platform in the center back wall, the main chamber. That looks to be where the head of the temple would maybe give sermons. Yeah. It seems to be
Okay.
somewhat empty right now. It's very well decorated though. Like there's like paintings on the walls, kind of like of their goddess, kind of retelling her story throughout time, or the way that it's told throughout time. So you see like the creation of the world. You see Lyra becoming godly. See them creating her followers. See during the time of fire and her coalition of gods, and the post Ash Age, like things like that. Them ascending to different planes. It's pretty standard. Like this because Paylor is on good terms with Lyra. So it's almost the same exact story. Just little bits are different.
That's wrong.
Well, it's more little bits are different in this fact, like in this one, it's more focusing on Lyra instead of whereas you would be focusing on Paylor and everything. And Paylor's known for being
the more superior god.
well, to some. But yeah, you go in there. It's pretty much empty. You're not seeing anybody inside. It's pretty quiet actually.
Okay.
There is candles and stuff lighting it, but that's about it.
Okay. Is there anywhere that you can, in some churches where you can like donate and light a candle?
There's a little donation like dish next to there with a little bell.
Okay.
Like it's a very little bell, like the size of your thumb, kind of thing. It's not big, but
I'll make a donation
okay.
of a gold piece.
You put a gold piece in there, and when the gold piece hits the dish, it actually rings the bell.
Oh.
Nothing happens. It's just,
Is there any like pews in the there's pews and stuff, right?
well, it's benches. There's no
Yeah,
backs to the benches. It's just.
I'm gonna
kinda-
go sit on a bench and just mutter a few prayers.
Okay. You feel a warmth. It's not your god's temple, but it is a god of a similar domain, and it's a very nice place. It's very. You'd say because of where you've been and you've seen some very extravagant temples. It's quaint, is how you would describe it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna I'm actually gonna use this moment to just sort of say my daily prayers at first and stuff, and then, I might try and ask a question
Okay.
to my god. Sort of.
Okay. What are you asking?
Whatever your name is, could you pass this message on to my god for me?
No, it's more of a to not use the phrase of the song. Should I stay or should I go? Is helping this town the right, sort of the right path? And I'm
Okay,
gonna
so you're
touch my holy
asking-
symbol.
Okay, so you're asking whether or not you should stay and help.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll a religion check.
Okay. Skills. Religion. Double click. That's an 11.
It's better than most of your religion checks.
Yeah.
Ooh, burn. In the fires of hell, swine.
He's not wrong. What you get instead of like direct answers that you've gotten before. You've gotten direct answers when you've been in very strong sites of Paylor and with a lot of worshippers to help kind of channel his power into this realm. But here, that doesn't. You're getting the sense that unless you're at those sites, you don't get a lot of direct answers. It's more feelings.
Yeah.
So you get a feeling that the people here need help.
Okay.
Whether or not you should stay and help is not a feeling you're getting. You're just
Okay.
getting that
People
there is
need
a
help.
problem.
That's a good enough answer for me.
That's all you get from that, though. But it's kind
Okay.
of like a feeling in the pit of your stomach, or kind of like your upper chest, that you just kind of get that feeling. And whatever you
Okay.
do with that is how you do with that.
Okay, I'm gonna take my leave from the church or temple. Just quickly look to the people that are doing some gardening, give them a cursory wave, and then head to the inn.
I think one of them bows their head and smiles and goes back to, I think, is weeding, like, gets like a big thing, puts it off to a
Probably
pile.
scream at her.
But that took you about grand total. I'm gonna say 25 minutes. Like you didn't spend a long time there. It wasn't a very deep thing.
No.
You weren't trying to channel your guardian, right? You were just asking your god through. So
Yeah.
So you head to the Fox's Tail, where you saw the rest of your party going towards before you turned off to the temple. It doesn't take long. Like it's right across the temple square, or the market square. Which, by the way, no, it's called Market Square. There's nothing being sold here. It's like almost nothing here.
It's like everyone's afraid of something.
Yeah, almost. But you walk over, and much like them, you hear a din right even before you get to the actual door. And as you open the door, the din gets louder, and you hear a somewhat fiery woman kind of ranting and raving about this about a guild not paying their taxes on time, wanting just a free ride, wanting the security of the town guard, even though that they're not bringing in any taxes right now. She's angry. She seems to be somewhat angry about this guild. But you do see your party up against the bar, drinking. There is a glass of water at the end of them, standing there.
I point to the water. Is this mine?
Well, you don't drink anything else.
They have
You've never drank anything else.
I have drunk something else actually previously.
Oh, really? I must have been asleep at that
Or
point.
you had a wine. You had a wine once. Yeah, there is.
I pick up the water and I have a sip. Taste a bit lukewarm.
It's how would I describe this? It tastes a bit gamey.
Mmm.
Puts down back on the bar for a moment. I'm guessing we found the reeve.
Yeah, that was our guess.
Yeah, that was our guess. Ooh, that was a shadow roll by the GM, I think.
Yeah, I know. I just saw
The shadow of a die.
A hidden dice go across our screen. That was.
Are you going to be ill by any fact?
So, who would like to introduce us? Or were you waiting for me?
We were waiting for you, buddy. We wanted to make sure we got all angles on this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Also,
As you're
I'm just
talking-
I'm just like writing everything she's saying down. Not everything, but
Okay.
like the gist of what she's
It's
saying.
like a Donald Trump speech. It's
Well,
Oh,
you know.
wow.
It makes no sense when it's written down. Like it's There's
Well,
like
you
bits
know.
of sentences that should be with other sentences, and it's like it's
Is
separated.
she trying to
out.
build a wall around the town or
It's-
something then?
Let's not
It's
get
a
political
thing-
here.
It's
I'm
a
asking a
thing I can
question.
change. It's a thing I can change in editing. Okay.
Yeah. But as you're talking and kind of
Oh, I had the
and-
best comeback for that. But I'm okay.
as you're talking and going over kind of your plan, she gets down from what you think is a chair
Her
that she
soapbox?
was standing on. Yeah, her soapbox. A chair she was standing on, and her tankard is empty, and she doesn't seem to be drunk, but there's definitely a slight sway. And when she walks over towards the bar, she goes, Dinon, fill me up. And she kind of like leans against the one of the chairs as she waits. All right, Bon, and starts filling it up. And she's next to you. She's right next to you on the bar, getting her drink filled up.
Okay.
Next to which one of us?
Yeah.
You'd be the last one to have gotten onto the to go to the group, so you'd be the closest. Isaac.
Trying
She's
to
not
word
paying
this so she
attention to
doesn't
you.
start an argument about the logging camp. I think anyway I say it, she's gonna bring it into the logging camp.
Yeah, me too.
Excuse me, would you be the Reeve?
She kind of looks over and then she's looking at your knee. Hi, you're a tall one. Hit
Indeed.
my microphone again.
Trying to get used to that new boom arm, is that?
It's not new. It's just it has to be a lot freaking closer for it to sound the same. It's just, like I have to have my mic presence. I gotta work on my mic presence. Yeah. What would you say?
Indeed.
Hi, what do you need? I'm the Reeve of this town.
We
Village.
hear. Well, we saw on the way in that you might be having a spot of trouble. I'm not talking about the logging guild.
We spotted trouble. Yeah, yeah. It's
I-
probably hurt.
I mean the creature.
Well, it hasn't been our trouble. That's been theirs.
And why is
So
the town
you-
always
You would
empty?
argue,
Well,
and
I
you'd
guess it
argue that
could
the
be our
caravans that
problem.
were attacked are not your problem.
it's wherever they were going. Those shipments were for maybe Gorgon, maybe one of the villages outside of Gorgon. I'm not sure. They weren't coming here.
Question.
We get our food from the bay, and from Sleet Hole, but that comes on trawler.
Question: in sort of this sort of society, the surrounding area of a town would fall, the protection of it would fall under the reef, correct?
Yeah, for the most part. It depends on how far. It's very hazy once you start getting a little distance away, but the farms around here definitely.
Okay.
Nothing's attacked us. It's always just keep attacking the logging guild. Some people say it's them angering the gods of the forest, with whoever they may be.
Do you not think that maybe trying to resolve the situation with the creature might get the logging camp off of your back?
Well, that's
Totally.
what I'm doing. Zaratia. It's Denman, how much is it? It's 200 gold pieces, man. 200 gold pieces. Bounty on it. Whatever
the
it is out there. Yeah. Tried putting it on the leader of the logging guild, but that didn't stick long.
Right. This logging guild, to whom does it have allegiance? Like, where's its base of operations, mainly?
You talking about its headquarters?
Yes.
Somewhere in Gorgon, I think. They operate all along the Gold Coast.
And your village, is it Is it part of Gorgon's fiefdom? Sorry, I'm relatively new to the area. I'm trying to understand the climate, so to speak.
Gorgon represents us at the council, yeah.
So by
you would know because it's relatively odd and it's been taught before in your schooling because you were a noble birth. You get some relative schooling. The freeholds operates on each hold has a council within the hold, which is formed by representatives of all of the towns and stuff that are a part of the holds and the important families in the holds, and then they elect a representative to the Grand Council, which the freeholds is like a big conglomeration of individual holds.
Okay,
so there are six of them. So there's a council, Grand Council, and then there's the leader of the council, which
local council, main government. I get it.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. So they are represented in Gorgon, and then Gorgon represents their interests at the Grand Council. Is what you know. That's what
so they don't owe like an allegiance to Gorgon, like a vassal system.
It's not feudal. It's not feudal.
Okay,
they use feudal like words and stuff, but it's more of a dwarvish council system. Is what they work.
Okay, so it's more.
She's elected.
Yeah, it's more all elected officials and stuff. But I was saying if Gorgon was declared war on, they wouldn't be automatically called in as a vassal or expected to raise a levy.
Not vassal, but they would be expected. There's no like vassal like levies. Like they have a professional army.
Okay.
They have a professional army. So like,
okay,
so
no, I don't want to. I'm just trying to work
not
out.
you, but I'm saying they could join the army if they wanted to. They didn't.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out if this Reeve owes anything to Gorgon.
Not particularly.
Okay, so I can't swing that.
It'd be like somebody asking, like my local city if they owe an allegiance to their senator or something like that, like or like not particularly they owe allegiance to us, kind of a thing, you know.
Yeah. So it's what I'm trying to work out is it basically she's having trouble with one of her liege's other vassals? And that's what I was trying to work out.
No, she's having trouble with a guild. She doesn't like a guild who's not paying their taxes on the land that they use. Is what you've gotten from her rants. How difficult it is to discern that from her disjointed and drunken ramblings.
Is there someone we could talk to get information on this beast that you have a bounty out?
I guess the best person would be Dwick.
Dwick?
It's the guard captain.
Ah, yes, we were told about him on the way in.
Yeah, Bulget. Yeah, guard captain Bulget. He'd know more. He also hired somebody against my orders, but he hired apparently some big shot from down in Rapkus.
We heard about him too.
Been hunting this creature.
How long's this been going on?
This has been going on for a few days. About a week. It's been about a week, maybe a bit more. Not around here. It happens. Some of it happens in the forest with the guilds have camps deep in the Fendir, and they cut things down there, bring it out here. They apparently got attacked in the camps, and then they retreated out into the fields where I see them now.
Has anybody in town gone and spoken to the leader of the guilds?
Every day for the last week.
What is the outcome of such?
I think
a lot of hot air and hemming and hawing. She takes a drink from her drink that was just presented to her.
I mean solely in the matter of the creature.
Not much. Well, I mean, not much except more dead people. Seems one every night or so.
One every night.
Or so.
Isaac, I think this is something your lord would want to have you to take care of.
Already checked on that, I know.
Already called it in.
We got a situation down here, boss.
And what do you want me to do about it? You're down there.
Well, thank you for your time, Reeve. We'll let you get back to your speed.
Speed? What the hell are you talking about?
I'm gonna-
Don't mind me. I'm a bard. Everything's a speech to me.
Starts drinking and going back to her table, where she seems to have like a group of people that she's talking to that look to be more well-to-do in the city. You notice Isaac, an individual that seems to have some sort of religious vestments at the table as well. Who seems
Oh,
to
is that
be-
the traveling? Can I assume that that's the traveling priest?
He does have a symbol of Moradin around his neck, and he seems to be. Yeah, that's the dwarvish god of creation, and that's the official god of the freeholds. Though they don't have like a religious litmus or anything like that. It's just more of like their creator god that created all beings, all dwarvish individuals. So they worship that paramount, or they're supposed to. But yeah, he's got a big tankard and he's drinking just as much as the rest of them, and he's like smiling and talking.
Oh, Moradin.
So, should we head to the logging camps and talk to them? Should we head back to the caravan and proceed from there?
I think we should wait until the next morning.
I would like to go to speak to any of the logging camps. Purely because they might have survivors of attacks. We might be able to get some more information on the creature. Maybe use our collective brains from outside the freehold to actually work out what this thing is before we go in without further knowledge.
Yeah, we've done that a couple of times. It didn't work out so well.
Exactly.
It
The
was a
glowing eyes.
ziggurat.
There's something in my memory that's kind of there's something there, and I want to try and expand on that further. See if I can't jog something.
What time is it?
Right now you've spent about an hour here. So you've got maybe 4 hours of light left.
Tracking this thing at night will not be easy, if possible at all.
No, I was thinking we could talk to the logging camp.
Yeah, I think we talked to the logging camp, and also the reef mentioned that there was people.
And the captain of the guard.
The creature was daily attacking people.
Yeah, there's a possibility of setting up a
ambush at the logging camp. The creature might come to us.
Ambush / use ourselves as bait. But
yeah, well, the thing is, that seems to be where everyone's dying. So let's go. I think that's our best port of call, so to speak.
Okay.
How far away is the logging camp? Could we walk it? Do we need to take our horses?
Well no, she specifically stayed logging the camps outside of town. So there are 4 of them. You saw them. They're about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're closer to Fandir than they are to the Sleet Hall. But between Sleet Hall and the edge of the Fandir Force is a mile. So they're maybe about 3/4 of a mile. Okay,
so we want to ride.
I mean, you could walk.
Lazy.
It wouldn't be that far.
3/4 a mile when we're pressed for time as it is.
About 4 hours before nightfall, but okay. If you want to check out your horses, you can.
I don't see the point.
I'll leave it with the group. Do you guys want to go horseback or foot?
We'll go on foot.
Yeah.
doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
Yeah, you got your dog with you the whole time. All right, so you going to track. You saw from when you were on that incline. There are 4 separate camps in this area, and they're separated a bit from each other. Like they each have their own little areas. So where are you going?
Is
there
there
are 4
one
of
that
them.
seems bigger than the rest?
Let's see here.
Or one with a bigger tent.
That too.
There is one that looks about twice as big as the next largest one.
That would
Go
be
for the
my
one that's
guess.
twice as big, yeah.
Okay. So you head towards that one. It's actually the closest to the village. So it doesn't take you that long. It takes you about, at a normal pace, takes you about 20 minutes to get there. Because it's not a straight shot. It's basically farm fields. They're right at the edge of the farm fields, and farm fields between you and the actual Sleet Hall village limits. So you kind of have to go a little kind of roundabout, little zigzaggy ways, and kind of stay out of farmers' fields. But you get there. Yeah, this camp is made up of a whole bunch of different tents, and it's very muddy. Like, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of grass cover here. Kind of wet from not rain. Well, it doesn't seem like they have irrigation or plumbing here.
Think we
Does
get
not
it.
smell that good.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah, okay. So we got that. And a mud, lot of muck kind of around here, but go in and when you enter, there doesn't seem to be like any guards or anything here. Just a lot of people like kind of in their tents, some in the front, like kind of nursing a cook fire. They've got some like rations that they're heating up, or a couple people have like maybe a rabbit or two that they're dressing, that kind of thing. So what are you trying to do? Like, you walk in, nobody seems to really pay mind to you when you're walking in. Just a lot of people who, they don't seem, there's not a lot of spirit in these guys.
I'm just going to go up to one and ask where the leader of the camp is, or the leader of the guild.
All right, this
Whoever's
one's
in
like,
charge.
yeah, this one you find somebody. He's walking. He looks to be like a half elf or something. That close, like he's not a full elf, not a full blooded human. So a half elf, a couple of generations half elf, who's walking, and he seems to have some sort of. He seems to be like carrying a cask, like a brand new cask, and he was walking into the camp, and you were just behind him, so you catch up to him. So maybe he went into town to buy this, but kind of like keeping it under his arm, keeping an eye on where everybody is. And then when you come up behind him, it's like, huh, what do you want?
We're looking for someone in charge.
You came to the wrong camp.
Where would we find somebody in charge?
We got one over there. And he points
Is it
to
the
the
smallest-
furthest. It's the
smallest
furthest
camp?
one from. It's the furthest one from the village. It is not the smallest one. It's actually the second largest. It's where all the managers are at.
Thank you. I'm gonna start
Alright.
heading that way.
Well, like, goes a bit quicker. It looks like he's going towards his tent with his. You can assume
I'm
it's
guessing
maybe
they're
either
not allowed alcohol around.
either that or thievery's rampant.
Mm.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. But you continue on your way, and this one is the closest to the actual fort. But you arrive, and let me take a drink. Let me know when we're getting close to the end time of the night. By the way.
Got 30 minutes.
Okay. You arrive. It takes you about another 30 minutes. Like the distance between these camps from each other is not that far individually, but they're kind of stretched out a little bit. So you go through a couple other camps. Like, one of them seems to be sits along a small logging road. And you can tell that this was the most recent attack. You can see some like broken down tents with some blood on it, and you can see like a body that has coverings over it, like off to the side of the road. It's definitely not all there. There's bits missing from the outline that you're getting underneath the little like canvas tarp. And then you walk past another one that looks to be maybe it's got like a small creek running next to it that is used for irrigation, and it seems to be like maybe a first aid station or kind of like a hospital camp. Like these a couple people that look sick or some people that maybe have some like light wounds are there, and they're all kind of in a larger tent with others that look to be people that are taking care of them in smaller tents around. But you finally get to the furthest away where it seems this is a bit better taken care of. Is a better like you get closer, the tents are nicer. There's still no livery or colors or anything here, but they are nicer made. There's a little bit bigger, and the fires are a bit more kept. All that kind of stuff. Were you trying to ask something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that while we're walking through, I want to keep an eye on the people, and I want to find the one that seems like the worst off, like morally and spiritually, like just the saddest of the sad, just the worst off, like not like money wise or like living conditions wise, just like like you know what I'm trying to say, like just not feeling good.
Just not feeling good. Okay.
Demoralized.
Demoralized. Yeah, that's word. Thank you.
There's a couple. There's a couple people that fit
Camp.
that
The
definition.
camp. The camp that
The
has the
camp that's
most.
most demoralized.
Yes.
That would be the first aid camp.
Okay.
That'd be the first aid camp. But you enter into this camp that looks to be maybe where the upper managers, or at least the representatives, like the local representatives of the guild, live. You can definitely tell it's not all of them. Like there are a lot of normal workers, but maybe some of the more veteran workers are here as well. And you don't see a recent attack evidence here. It looks to
like
be
shift managers, duty managers.
Yeah, people who've been with the guild for like
Team
maybe a couple of
leaders.
years, that kind of stuff. Where the other one that you read before, the big one, seemed to have been kind of the new hires, maybe that were on there maybe for a season. But you walk in and immediately somebody notices and kind of not at a run, but like a kind of a brisk pace is kind of walks towards um, one of the larger tents, and almost meekly like kind of like knocks on a little bit of the wood frame for the thing, and then goes in. As you keep walking, a couple of seconds later, you see somebody who looks to be a bit more well off, clean, which is kind of rare for this area, from what you've seen. But looks to be clean, well cared for, well groomed, shaved. Comes out of their tent, and it looks to be a kind of an older dwarvish man that starts walking towards you with some purpose, like curiosity, you would say. Like they don't seem to be getting a lot of new visitors in these camps. The people that come here, they know them at this point. So, so do you walk towards them? Or are you looking to talk to them, or are you trying to avoid them, or what's going on?
I think we should stand our ground where we are and see what they come up to us to have to say, I guess.
Okay. So 1 second, just trying to get a pencil here because I'm missing a pencil for some reason. Okay. All right. So this male dwarf walks up to you and goes, "Can I help you? Who are you? You from the guild?" It's like he's not talking to a single individual, just like.
Oh right, okay.
No.
No. So we are not from the guild.
We're here to.
Companion.
Oh, okay, go on. Oh, you go on.
Nope.
No. Too late now.
Oh, damn British politeness. We're both going. No, you go.
No, you first. You go first.
Fine. My companions and I were in the area when we noticed the attack on the road, and then we went into town, and we hear that there seems to be some sort of creature problem.
Oh,
We were right.
yeah. Seems to be it's a bit of a problem, yeah. You hired by the guard captain? You another one of them?
We haven't spoken to the guard captain directly. We're more in the. We're adventurers, so we felt it was our natural born duty to investigate, so to speak.
Right.
And we hear you've been having the brunt of it all, so we came to get
Brunt,
your
all of it.
well, those traders up the road.
Sure.
Sorry, it's totally fair.
What do you want to know?
Has anyone
had-
survived an attack?
Plenty. That's why we got that over there. He points to the first aid camp.
Do you know if any would be willing to give a description of the creature?
Could. They don't say much.
Do you mind us going and asking?
Oh, whether or not they'll talk to you, I can't force them to talk to you.
I take it you're the guild's main representative here, or one of them.
I'm the deputy, the deputy of this operation. The leader of the operation has gone to Gorgon to request guild aid a week ago.
A week ago.
Ah.
Yes, that's what I said.
When
That's when
the
the
attack
attack started.
started.
Yes, that's well. He went there when the attack started.
Any so what's the general report on these attacks? Who was the first to notice them? Were they out of the blue? Did anything?
The people that probably got attacked were the first to notice them, I would say.
When did you first notice the attacks?
As
When was
soon
it
as
first
people
reported?
started
About a
getting
week ago.
attacked. About a week ago.
How about we kill him?
No. Next question.
Somebody came.
And
somebody
find the
came back,
deputy
said that
deputy.
one of- somebody came back from one of our forward camps. They're doing some test cuts, seeing what the wood looks like in certain areas, seeing if it was good for what we needed it, and said that some people had gotten hurt. We thought it was thought somebody just got hit by a falling tree, but something came out at night and took them from their tent.
Is it always at night?
Yes.
Are the majority of people that have been attacked from that first camp?
No.
One more question that I can currently think of. Test cuts. What does that process involve? I am not a logger myself.
Well, we get orders from the shipbuilding industries in the various different holds, mostly Gorgon. It's the only other hold that orders any shipbuilding materials would be Nordarin. And they have their own things that they have their own shipments from Silnal. But we get orders, and there are certain requirements that are needed if it's going to be decorative, or if it's going to be structural, or if it needs to have some properties to be magically imbued, etc., etc. So we need to do test cuts where we need to go out. We need to find the average tree that is in a certain area and see if it is good enough for that. The Fandir is not a homogeneous string of species. It's got a lot of different types of trees and a lot of different times in their lifespan. If you're looking for an iron oak, like dwarvish iron oak, you need to get it. It needs to be at least 300 years old before you can cut it for use inside of the Free Navy, because they'll never take they won't take young iron oak anywhere. So and he starts going into
So
a
these test cuts
technical.
were happening in an older part of the forest.
No, this one was actually this one was decorative wood that we needed. We needed something that was soft and could actually take a nice dye to it. So it was average, just average.
Okay. And do you know what the woods, what trees were being test cut at that point? Do you get that from the report? or was it all scrambled when the attack happened?
Probably a couple of different types of, maybe some ash or you.
No one reported anything strange to do with the trees.
No, it's the Fandir. It's a forest.
I mean, your forests have naturally different properties. I mean, iron oak, for example, is a very stout wood, but you could argue that if maybe someone at some point had planted some sort of tree that's native to a more elven area, there could be magical properties in it. I'm trying to negotiate to work out if there's any of that sort of tree
Didn't
there.
hear anything strange about the trees. Nothing strange about the trees. Nothing there. And anyways, why would it matter? Everybody's been. It's not people from the first camp that are getting attacked. It's just people that are getting attacked from the guild, and it's happening here. There's no trees here. Well, I mean, there's trees back there, but there's no trees out here.
Has there been a
No,
pattern
but-
to these attacks?
Every night, just
Same time?
It varies.
Same camp? Different camps?
Different camp. We got attacked 4 days ago. One of the younger supervisors was out taking a piss. Didn't come back. Found blood on in the latrine hole. It's gone. Last night there was at that camp. He points to one of the camps where you saw evidence of attack. One of our finishers. He makes sure that he gets all the bits of the wood that we don't need off. One of our finishers got attacked while he was in his tent sleeping. There's been some
Was
that
it
have
one
been outside.
who was attacked alone?
No.
Okay.
2 days ago, there was a tent that had 3 people in it, and came in, killed one, and took its body. Took his body.
Have
Most
they
of
all
them.
been male? The victims been male?
No. Well, yes, but that's because there's only male here.
Are they all dwarf?
No, you talked to a half elf. That was
No, the victims.
no, I'm saying the
Oh,
victims.
the victims. No. I mean,
So mixed race.
it's been most dwarves, but if you go
Naturally,
the first
the
attack,
area is mostly.
but the first attack had a couple of halflings.
But no one half elf, sorry, a larger height.
No, there's been a human.
Okay. Was
I mean,
he
he's
particularly short? I'm
average.
just trying to. Okay. I'm just trying to work out the creature. If it was something rather than being a creature that's hunting for food, if it was a creature hunting for, say if you were disturbed, if something had been disturbed and it was hunting for revenge, it might be trying to hunt a certain type of person. So we were trying to astound if it's looking for something or someone.
We haven't noticed any patterns. It comes at night, and it's different every time. It uses different things every time. It'll hit somebody who's away from camp. It'll hit somebody who's in the center of camp. It changes. It changes
It gets
every
into
time.
the center of
You-
camps without people noticing.
You're basically
Well,
basing this on the was it the Ghost and the Death or something like that? It's the film.
Huh?
Anyways,
I'll talk to you about it later, mate.
Uh-huh.
It's a really good film.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He says it with a huge smile on his head.
Could it
Well,
be
then
more than
I-
one creature?
I guess that
Don't
is a
think so.
possibility.
We haven't noticed any. It's always been one that attacks.
Yeah.
It's a big
Well-
thing. It's either always shrouded in black or it is black, and it's got some glowing yellow eyes.
Well, then I think we should go see if we can find a survivor and talk to them.
Mhm.
And
Shit Top
look
2
at
is the
the-
person they hired to try and hunt this damn thing.
From
We've
the
heard
sounds of
he
it,
hasn't been
we
the
don't need to trust him.
most useful.
We found tracks for the creature that he managed to miss.
Not what I thought. Your best bet would be going to the the camp where the last attack happened.
That was
There
the
was a-
next thing I was going to suggest.
Yeah, there's a. He was alone when he was attacked, but he's fairly close to a couple other tents, so they might have heard or seen something. We asked, but
Oh,
Let's-
I've seen this film.
Yeah.
let's just say they don't. Let's just say they don't. A lot of the boys aren't talking to the management right now, so you might have better luck.
I see. Alright, thank you for your time. I'm going to start heading towards the hospital.
That wasn't
Ah.
where the last attack happened.
No.
I-
No.
I know.
Okay,
We
I'm
want
just,
to go
I'm
talk
just
to a
saying.
survivor, I think.
All right.
No, I'm
going to
go in, bring some joy with music and entertainment. It's going to be
Oh,
like a
I'm gonna-
USO tour up in this bitch.
Isaac. Isaac. We may want to consider there may be more than one creature,
It's always a possibility.
given the fact that they're attacking different points at different times in different ways.
I also have an inkling that this is more than just hunting for food.
Yes.
The fact that bodies are disappearing,
Suggests trophies.
trophies, ritualistic killings, vengeance, you know. And it seems strange that this coincided them with doing new cuts of trees.
Yeah.
They seem, I mean,
They've been they're cutting down trees with what seems like clear cutting. They find an area, they cut it all down.
let's go to the first aid area. See if we can't, one, do some good for it, and two, find a survivor.
I'm more skilled at making things stop moving full stop rather than helping things start moving again.
I'm a healer.
I'll stand guard.
Well, then why don't you... Well, oh, wait, I'm not there. I left.
All right. So, you guys head towards the first aid camp. It takes you about 10 minutes to get there. It's not that far away. And when you get there, you notice there's a big open tent in the center of this camp. That's kind of surrounded by the smaller tents of what seem to be the older orderlies and the people that have some sort of medical knowledge are kind of outside of this, or in this outside ring. But on the inside, you see probably about 10 people who are laying on kind of these bare cots that are in rows, like 2 rows of 5. You can tell they've been through some stuff. One of them is missing a leg. A couple of them have some really nasty wounds to their heads or chests. Like, most people aren't conscious here. There is one who is conscious. Unfortunately, he's the one that has a limb missing. He's just
Nice.
like propped up slightly with like a pillow, and he's just like he's being slowly given like a drink of water from one of the orderlies. Like, that's what you see when you come in here.
So most of them are unconscious.
Most of them. You're not sure if that's what's intended or if they just actually are unconscious. 'Cause some of these wounds are pretty bad, and it doesn't seem like there's a lot of people here that know a lot about medicine.
Get to work, Isaac.
I'm not trained in medicine, but I can heal. So
Yeah,
I'm
ask
gonna,
him.
yeah, I'm gonna go and see if I can heal some of these people.
Okay. Who are you trying to? What were you trying to heal the worst off, or the
Well-
least worst? What are you doing?
Okay. In technical terms
Right.
of like game mechanics, is one, for example, is there anyone that requires something like spare the dying?
No, but they would have been dead a long time ago if they needed that, because that
Okay, yeah, no
you
worries.
take a death saving throw every 6 seconds at that point. No, these like some of these people are what you'd consider like 0 or 1 HP. Like, they're like, they're unconscious. They're on the unconscious stage.
Yeah, no worries.
I am going to Is
I'm
there
gonna
anyone like
use-
a doctor or someone who is slightly more knowledgeable than an orderly?
There seems to be somebody. It's a male dwarf who looks to be changing It's changing one of the victim's bandages on their chest, and they don't seem to be like an orderly. They seem to be ordering the orderlies around. Is what you're getting from
I, I'm
from
gonna
this.
walk up to him and ask him if he's triaged them and then what that order is from worst off to least worst off. So actually the
Uh,
opposite of triage, but whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, well, worst off would be Jack over there. He got hit a couple of days ago. Lost his leg. Lucky son of a bit. A couple of the boys in the other tent got a hold of his hand and didn't let go. Well, I guess that's lucky in being dead, right? Then after that, you got Dweemy over there. He took a whatever it was to the head, and he hadn't woken up since. Then the rest are just cuts, scrapes. A couple of them tried fighting one of them off as he tried getting away, but didn't do much. Yeah.
So weird
Why?
full
What are
of
you asking
Minnesota
for?
you're doing today.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm from northern. I'm from Northern Dorderim, the Northern Hold.
Well, my friend here is a healer and we were thinking we might be able to help a little bit.
Well, whatever you can do would be great help. I'm the only one here who knows anything about medicine, and I gotta tell you, I did not graduate. So
Right.
that's why I'm here
gonna,
cutting down trees.
okay, I'm gonna go to the person who hasn't woken up since, because I can't regrow limbs. I'm not that powerful a
That
mage.
you know of yet.
Sorry, I'm not that powerful a mage yet. And I'm gonna try and cure wounds on the unconscious guy.
Okay. So you cast Cure Wounds. So why don't you cast that spell?
Mm-hmm.
Have you figured that out?
Mm,
I have. So there's a little like magnifying glass next to the dragon.
Yep, that tiny thing.
For like me, that I have healing word, and then at
Mhm.
the left side it says heal.
Oh yeah, hold on. You changed the display mode. Wasn't that a thing?
I haven't done that, but I maybe.
Okay, so you magnifying glass it and then you click heal.
Yeah, that's what I did.
10 healing.
Nice.
And that's the maximum I could have rolled.
Just like over your hands, over his head, and the wounds, they're some of them are stitched up kind of poorly, and others are bandaged. He's got gauze and everything, but you can see like they're starting to heal up. Scars are being left. He's got like one really bad one, kind of like from his lip down to like here. That's like that at one point probably was open, but was stitched back up, and is now healing back, and just like the bruises are starting to like soften a little bit, and you can like just like an eye flutter. One of them's covered with like a bandage, but an eye flutter's open. What the hell? What the? It's like wakes up.
It's okay. You were attacked. I just
What?
used some magic on you to heal you.
What magic? What? What? Might
So
still
what
have
is
the
your
question.
name?
What? Ooh. Huh?
How many fingers am I holding up?
What? What?
I don't
Not-
think it was enough.
No, I think he's been in a coma for a while, so someone needs to give him some water.
Great
Once
to
you get an
start it.
orderly.
It's like turning on one of those old Macintosh. You hear like the just the hard drive spinning up.
The hamsters are like cranking it round.
While Isaac does that, I'm going to go around to the other less wounded and use healing word on them. Well, at least 5 of them.
Okay. I'm gonna say just roll a
Six
just
of
roll
them.
one. Yeah, just roll one of those, and I'll say you can do that. We'll just apply that. But not bad. I mean, it's actually pretty shit, but
That's
it's
pretty
okay.
bad.
It's okay. It's 4 HP. These are commoners. These are random villagers. They have single digit HP. So that's actually quite a bit. I'm gonna say just generally from what you can heal from a healing word, you get 3 of them back up on their feet. 2 of them, like, they're healed physically, but like they might have been hit in the head really fucking hard, and like you're not curing a concussion,
Right.
or there's some brain swelling that needs to go down a little bit, and like they're not waking up, and after a while you might think Dwimmy, the one, or yeah, I think it was Dwimmy, the one that had been in a coma, or no, that was Jack. That was Jack was the coma. Dwimmy was the one that.
No, Jack was missing a leg.
Jack was missing a leg. Dwimmy was the one that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Dwimmy's the one that was in a coma. You might think he has a bit of, he has a bit of a pretty serious concussion, and he just might need to be still asleep for a while before he can do anything. It's probably better if he just rests that. He just kind of like sleeps that off.
Right, but
that's
okay.
what you get. That's what you get from your kind of like general medicine knowledge. But you've definitely helped. About half the people are back up on their feet. The guy who was essentially the medic or the doctor or the dropout, who was initially got you, which you know is now is Demund, who's the individual who helped you.
Puts hand on holy water.
Demund.
Okay.
Demund. He goes, "Oh, I gotta thank you. That helped a lot. I don't have any magic, or, in all honesty, any tools whatsoever to help me out here. Most of this is just linen that we cleaned with some wine. But
Did you boil the wine first?
it was tepid.
Why would you boil wine? That would get rid of the alcohol.
You know, you keep it hot. The reason it wouldn't boil, it wouldn't actually, unless it got on
Has
fire,
antiseptic
the
in it.
alcohol would still be in there. What you do is you get really hot wine, like boiling wine, and that's like if you're medieval wise, if you take a limb off somebody, if you're taking a limb off somebody, you tie off the arteries with like horsehair or something like that. Then you dip the still open wound in boiling wine, so the alcohol hits the bacteria, and the heat also kills any like bacteria.
Interesting. Good to
And
know.
then you would put it against a hot iron or something to cauterize everything. And then you do. It's a painful process. Not many people live through it. But it was. We got it as hot as we could. Really. Firewood's not necessarily. I mean, firewood's very abundant, but it's we don't.
In a logging camp.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
It's,
Well, hang on a minute.
Where are you gonna get firewood from?
the Fendir's pretty clean around here for firewood. He's got to get live wood, which isn't as good. Doesn't burn as hot. So, yeah. But we did as best we could, and also, you know, some of the ladies from the temple in town gave us some clean linens. So that's helped out a bit. But thank you. If you have anything else that you can do tomorrow, that would be good. I'm gonna be honest here. I don't like this. I'm a logger. But yeah, he thanks you as you start on your way towards the camp where the last attack happened, where you were going to interview the actual somebody who witnessed the last attack, we're gonna end it for today.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm glad no one else can read Celestial. It just allows me to ping Roach because I haven't
You
worked
can
out the
actually whisper
function.
to me.
I don't know. There isn't one of those like as a drop down in my list or anything. I don't know where that is yet. We'll work that one out for next week.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a way of doing it. We'll
Yeah.
have to look that up.
But anyway, thank you for everyone that's joined us today. Thank you to Roach, obviously, for creating the adventure, and thank you for these guys for joining me in this. We'll be back. Will we be back next week? Yes, we will.
Yes.
Won't we?
Yeah, we will. There's nothing
Yeah.
stopping us now.
Ain't no stopping us now.
We might even have one of our individuals here who has a far better mic quality coming up next week when it comes to Crimson. He's getting it-
Oh
Potentially.
yeah, because you might be sending him a microphone. But yeah, as
Oh, I
always,
definitely
thank you.
will be sending him a new one.
Wait, no, but I'm saying if it rhymes by then.
True.
But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching. We'll be back next week. And if you haven't already, please check out the podcast version of this. If you need to go back and watch the previous the streams of this, if you want to go catch out, and the podcast has extra bonus content, and it's just something nice to listen to if you've got work to do. If you can't always make the streams, if you want to do other things while listening to D&D, it's a great way to do that. I'll put a link for that
As well
up
as take
in
a look
my
at
chat right
the
now.
individuals' channels here. Rival Zone Gaming, who has a pretty good YouTube channel, pretty cool YouTube channel, slowly making his way back, up to 1,000 subscribers. He hit his 500 mark not too long ago. You got Midgeman from Midgeman's World, and he's got a great channel. Check out his stuff. And me, Commissar Roach. I have a mediocre channel, so take a look at that.
Oh no, your channel's good. I can't watch your Ace Combat.
There's no spoilers because they're
No.
all
I've
self-contained
played the
stories.
game like 94 billion times. It's one of my favorites, but I can't watch it because I get angry with you because you talk during the cutscenes.
That's because I'm a riffer.
I know, but I'm sitting there going, "Shut up, Roach! Just shut up."
And
It's the
Oh,
opening
I miss
cutscene,
those
and you're going
cutscenes.
over the whole thing. This is telling you the history of what's going on, and you're just like,
I get it.
"Dude, I'm gonna kill him."
And,
Stop.
Right?
Because I love Roach and I don't
Huh?
want to get angry with him.
Yeah, and Atari also has a Twitch channel. I don't know if you're streaming still, though, Atari. Are you?
No, I shut that down.
No.
No one
Okay,
was
well-
watching. I was kind of starting.
Aww.
But yeah, take a look at all those channels and various bits of content. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye,
Anything
folks.
else?
Bye bye, peoples.
Adios. I
Peace
didn't
combat.
realize you
There's a
could
game I need to get back into.
actually roll